Chewing, buying a pack of gum for me is also my cigarettes.
That's your cigarettes?
Yes.
It's nicotine gum.
It's nicotine gum, yeah.
Cigarettes are my cigarettes most of the time.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Or like cocaine.
That's cooler. I like that, yeah. I mean, I'm still doing coke. That I thought was a given. But
Yeah,
like,
well, this is we're allowed to do capitalist drugs in the studio, and coke is one of them.
100%, yeah.
We are for profit. Profit above everything here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facts.
Profit, triple bottom line. Profit,
Yes.
profit.
Someone donate a super chat, I'll take my socks off. Sorry. Anyway.
As though we were streaming currently.
Yes, yeah.
All right, drama YouTuber Gokanaru in the house.
Hi.
Gokanaru, what the hell has been going on?
Nothing. If I guess anybody follows me or anything, it's just a big void, just nothing going on.
Well, you've been streaming once a week.
Yeah, I've been streaming once a week, yeah.
But you've been working on a project.
I've been working
multiple
on
projects.
many projects, yes. But yes, I've been working on a project for a long time. Hopefully, it should be the case that when this comes out, it'll be out. But yeah, at this point, I'm just dropping the ball. So like, I'm just releasing. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just telling people. Yeah, I'm working on a video on Sneako. And at this point, when I started it, I was ahead of the curve. At this point, I'm literally like, I'm hoping it's going to be like the final fucking nail, right? So
Right.
You're going to make the last Sneako video.
I doubt that, but the best, hopefully. Yeah. And, you know, the fucking like the last one people need to watch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, when's the last time someone's career ended with a video?
I don't know.
But I'm thinking like Content Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This happens on a lower level a lot. So like I see a lot of this shit just being in the commentary community where it's like the weirdest, dumbest, like in-fight kind of video comes out or someone gets exposed or whatever. And then it's like, this is a person who like barely makes money off of this shit. So it's like not even their job. And it's just like, well, the like space that I just spent most of my free time, it's like I'm a fucking like blackballed. I'm like a loser. Like, so I've seen a lot of careers like flounder because of videos, but not like on a big ass scale. You know, when you're making enough money, I feel like it takes a lot to stop you from fucking uploading. You know?
Well, at that point, you cancel yourself.
Yeah, and that happens. That does happen.
Well, you're saying like people with like 40K subs who just have their career stopped in their tracks?
I've seen like 10K, bro. Yeah,
Jesus
but it's
Christ.
like it's one of these weird things where a lot of the times I've seen like people with not a lot of popularity, but like their exposed video will get more fucking popularity than you can imagine. Yeah.
And they don't get a boost from that. They actually die from it.
Well, again, being canceled, especially on YouTube, is a mindset thing unless you literally get fucking removed. But it is a mindset thing. Like you can overcome it theoretically, but like a lot of times, from what I've seen, like in the commentary community, it's like you are punching down. So it's like you're like punching down on someone who's like untalented as fuck. You know what I mean? So it's like they were fucked anyways. Like it's like a very low risk person to shit on, if that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my origins. I got scraped. I was a little piece of gum that got scraped off the concrete from there. Yeah. And here I am, a big amoeba.
Big amoeba.
A big amoeba.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that a comprehensible origin story? Do you follow that?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I think you're bigger than. I mean, you punched up with H3H3.
Yeah. So okay, I should guess make it clear. I try to punch up always. Like I don't. So like lolcow content. How familiar are you with lolcow content?
I've been on Kiwi Farms.
You find a person on the internet who's cringeworthy and you make fun of them.
Yeah. Okay. So this is
makes sense.
Something I've consciously rejected constantly because it is very attractive. Like because it's easy to make like lolcow content. Shit's easy, bro, because it's like very low risk. Like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Respond? It's like a loser, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I've relatively consciously tried to say to myself, like, I don't fucking like punching down. Like, if I'm gonna put effort into something, like, again, for me, it's like usually less about the money. I'm trying to change that, so I hope we all are. But yeah, like. In general, lolcow content, it's just fucking like, to me, it's like, that just sucks. Like, I remember the first time I saw Kiwi Farms was shortly after I made my H3 video, because naturally, like, I attracted a lot of people who love that shit, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, expose people, whatever. And immediately I got the worst vibes I think I've ever fucking gotten. Just looking at like the compilations of information, and I'm like, holy shit, like, this isn't criticism. Like, you're literally creating a dossier of this person's life. And the big time I remember when I was like, nah, I don't want to do this shit, was Boogie2988. He had a massive fucking like comprehensive like history document folder, whatever, with all of his dirt, whatever. I think it was called like Salmon Toki was like the subreddit where I saw this shit. And there's a lot of people being like, do a video vigilante on Boogie2988 or whatever.
Right.
And it was a moment where I was fresh off the H3 shit. What everybody wanted was like video vigilante, like just to keep doing this. You can be like content cop-ish guy,
Right.
whatever. You're filling the fucking like void. And I had such a bad taste in my mouth from the H3 video, genuinely, which I'm over now. But like for a while, I was like, holy fuck, like that was a psychic experience going from no fucking zero following basically for years, like literally like 7 or 8 years at that time, to like you are the guy who like shot
Right.
this guy in the head. You simulated
Yeah, there's
shooting.
a podcast episode about you. PewDiePie talks about you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That came later, and that was crazy. I'm really glad that I got like that to happen, because like just for my child self, like my 16-year-old child self or whatever, like the idea that PewDiePie was like, even he didn't say my name, but like he was talking about me and shit. Yeah, that was like, okay. That happened before he retired, so like I can just shoot me now. I'm ready to die.
Didn't you say you didn't sleep for a period of time during that period?
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. I don't know if I have not talked about this, but like, fuck it, whatever. That was like probably the closest I've ever come to like a genuine state of mania. And I genuinely, even while I was making that video, I had this fucking like feeling where it was like, I feel like whatever people think devil possessions are, this must be what it fucking is, because it literally felt every night just completely adrenaline. Like I could not fucking sleep. I was in university, so like I also needed to like study, but I literally could not fucking focus at all. Literally completely consumed my brain. Released the video, finally it's done. Instantly the most dopamine I've ever received in my fucking life, like ever possible. I'm like also conscious and aware, like, oh yeah, he could like respond to this now, because it's like getting attention. Like Keemstar, someone who I've watched literally since before I had a YouTube channel. He's like promoting the fuck out of it. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, this is like a ton of attention that I've never received before. And it was like probably a 2-month period where I could barely sleep. It was like the most strange fucking like experience. And I remember I was trying to like get my fucking exams postponed, no joke. And because it was like midterm season, I think I dropped it in like October maybe 30th. Midterms were in November, and I was trying to get my midterm exams postponed, and literally they would not accept it. I was like, I was basically saying like, I didn't really know what to do, so I was just honest, kind of. I was like, I like got a lot of attention online for like criticizing somebody, and it's like affecting me mentally, whatever. They're like, like what?
They wouldn't give you the mental health.
No.
The mental health justification.
Yeah. So what I needed to, I genuinely like, I basically for one of my exams, I did 2 of them, and it was like a struggle, but I fucking did it. But like one of them, I just knew, I was like, I literally like, this is not the fucking time for me, and so I just literally had to fucking like lie and like fake sick and all that bullshit, you know what I mean? Like on that day. So yeah.
So the internet gives you mental illness. It's confirmed.
Yeah, completely.
And becoming an e-celebrity is basically a pathway towards mania and depression.
Although I'll say my route was like the most like aggressive you could possibly like encounter. I had not necessarily actually. You could like commit like real crimes, like J Station. There's like people who commit hate crimes, and that's like their comeuppance, whatever. But like in terms of like, for me at that time, I was like thinking to myself, like, man, if only my family vlogs, if only those popped off. But like, I in hindsight though, that was like a great experience. Like, holy fuck, like very unique experience. Yeah. The big thing that the reason like that I liked it was in hindsight again, like in the moment I was like, holy fuck. But my goal with that, right? So like if I'm going to criticize somebody, usually, like in a serious way, I want to like mentally justify it to myself, because money's not enough, unfortunately. I fucking wish. I wish, bro. But yeah, sorry. I basically was like hoping to myself, the way I'm going to make it worth it is I'm going to like make it a little bit of like a narrative. There's like underlying themes, like all this shit, so that I can kind of interweave like the filmmaking. It's not just the commentary, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, I was like trying to theme it around crime and punishment. And so basically the whole thing was like, it actually felt like I committed a crime with that video. Like I genuinely felt bad. Like it was like the weirdest psychic experience, but like in hindsight, that was very fun.
Did he have a negative reaction that made you feel bad?
Yeah,
You're like, oh, I hurt this guy. Genuinely, this is too far.
Yeah, so this is where it's like,
By the way, if you haven't figured this out yet, Gokanaru's claim to fame was a video about H3H3. If you haven't pieced that together yet.
Oh yeah, sorry everyone.
We've decided we're not going to bother with introductions on this podcast.
I thought that was what we were doing.
Yeah, we'll just jump into it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but like basically, what was the question? Sorry, it was.
Do you hurt him?
Yeah,
His reaction like made you feel bad.
So yes, yeah. So like, this is when I realized like I'm so prone to like being contrite. Like I am not. I genuinely don't think I'm like the type of guy who has like naturally like that will to power of like I don't really give a fuck who I fuck over or whatever. Because what happened basically was the next podcast or the podcast after, because he was doing like the podcast whatever. Literally, I've never seen a human being look more like downtrodden in my life, and it was literally a thing where he was like addressing some of the criticism, very like obviously like. Partially due to that, literally looked physically ill, was talking about his depression, was talking like I'm gonna take meds basically, and I was like, wow.
Did you put H3H3 on meds?
No, absolutely not. There's no shot. Like he was already like planning it all out. He like, if anything, it was just said then as like, look, like whatever the fuck this is, like,
drama content, the only content that can put you on meds.
That's definitely not true, but yeah.
What? So when he was addressing your stuff, like what?
Like this was a year and a half later, roughly. So like,
Oh.
he like basically the video got taken down.
Right.
This is really deep. Like we're going deep lore right now. But like, yeah. So the H3H3 video, like, here's the thing. Like, in that video, basically, like, it's themed around like it's narrative. It's not serious, but it's themed around killing him. Okay, so you know, I knew at the time I was like, this is. Like, if we're talking morality, like this, I don't think this is moral. But it was a weird thing because when I released it, like everyone thought like I was the good guy. But the whole time I was thinking like, oh, this is
everyone's thinking that guy deserves it.
Yeah,
He's made bad content on the internet.
That's when I realized. Yeah, that's when I realized that aesthetics are so much more important.
Yeah,
are so much more important than
substance.
Not just substance, like principles. Like,
morals. Yeah,
yeah. It's really incredible. Yeah, the way that. You can, it's like sorcery, bro. You could like fucking enchant an audience.
Take notes. Substance.
Anyway.
Morals, values, much less important than aesthetics.
Yeah. And
on YouTube.com or on the internet in general.
And just to be clear, like there's a lot of people who obviously still, like that was their fucking introduction. That makes sense. It was their introduction to me. So like, I don't regret doing it. But like there was a long period of like accepting like what that actually was and like how it fucking, you know, went around in my brain a bit. But yeah, the completely closed, like that was one of the best things to ever happen to me, like objectively, right? But yeah, just definitely psychically weird. So like the video got removed a year later while I was in Hong Kong. Weird experience. And it was because they introduced new rules, literally new rules, against creator-on-creator harassment. Specifically, mine broke creator-on-creator simulated violence.
Which seems like it was invented for you.
It was. Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, it really was, because the day they literally the exact day they introduced them, same day that they deleted Monkey Jones, but like a year later. If that makes sense? It's almost like that time of the year was like, all right, we got to change some shit or something.
Call the herd.
Yeah, literally. Anyway, but yes, that fucking day, my video got removed. One of the content cops got removed on Leafy because it was like visual harassment, like making fun of his chin. Yeah, literally. Really? For real. Yeah, the same day.
Oh, that's what the iDubbbz video on Leafy got taken down as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And a video by Psychic Pebbles, which was making fun of the Fine Bros in like an animated format. It was like heavy satire.
Dang.
Yeah, those three videos are the only ones that people have confirmed got removed that day, and it's like each of them kind of corresponded.
So what I'm getting at this is drama content is so powerful, YouTube wants to repress it.
No. Actually, not at all.
Because it's the only content that can put you on meds.
That's actually
not at all.
Not true at all. YouTube loves drama content.
Yeah.
They just don't like when you mean it too much.
Oh, I see.
If that makes any sense.
So you gotta keep it playful and
yes,
or punch down.
Punch down is a big one. I'm deadly serious. I mean this for real. Like this is a philosophy I have. Like they don't like when it's genuine targeted, like literally targeted at someone. If you're talking about someone and you're saying everything, you're saying they're a rapist, you're saying they're like every bad thing that might not even be proven, pretty much fine. But like if you're literally like fuck you and it's like you add theatrics, like, you know, your chin, or like me
Right.
with like, you know, simulated violence, then they don't fuck with that, because it's like now they're almost like co-signing like
Right.
this like literal harassment.
Well,
or
I don't know
whatever.
about that part in the Sneako video where you put the effigy of him through the meat grinder.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like That's not
exactly.
gonna go well.
Right. That was that was a good segue. Yeah. There's just a few components like that in that video. Yeah. Man, yeah. There's a lot going on with like me coping with YouTube, like just a lot of cope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you were there, literally there, when I got a strike for the H3H3 video
Right.
3.5 years later.
Yeah.
Which was I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that thing. Remember that thing you did like 4 years ago that
Yeah.
we rewarded with views? It's actually bad now. And
Yeah.
there's a strike for your channel.
Well, no, the thing to understand is, yes, they rewarded me with views. That shit was monetized somehow. I
Yeah.
didn't understand. Like, I didn't have so what you need to understand, I didn't have a partnership. Okay. So I couldn't monetize it, but I put copyrighted music in it so that it could get like hoping it would get monetized. So
Right.
that, because then the algorithm would be like, oh, we're still like making money off
Oh,
this.
interesting.
Yeah. I was like, I wanted it to like, because bro, it was like after a certain number of years, if you don't quit YouTube, like you become pretty desperate. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, but yeah, anyway, so like they monetized it, whatever. Then they removed it in, I think November of 2019 while I was in Hong Kong. And then when they removed it, they said, these are new rules. You will not be striked. I didn't get a strike, which was actually nice in a way. Yeah, it was good. And then hanging out with you in Vancouver with JJ, I received a strike for the H3 video like 3.5 years later. Yeah, it's very, very odd.
That's so wild.
And the reason that pissed me off is because the Sneako video has elements that could absolutely get a strike.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I was hoping to like keep my warning or whatever the
Right.
fuck in case. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with that.
That's tense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing you've been working on for a year, you put it out immediately, gets taken down, gets your channel a strike.
That wouldn't be the worst thing, actually.
No?
If I'm being deadly honest, because, you know, if you're watching this podcast, obviously you have like a big ass brain and you're, you know, very esteemed.
A nice horseshoe shaped brain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you deserve the inside scoop. The worst thing that could happen, realistically, if we're talking just like being honest in terms of like my benefit, the worst thing that could happen is it comes out and it gets age restricted. That's worse than getting removed.
Because if it gets removed, people will put it back up for
Precisely.
you.
Yeah, I experienced that with H3
And
unintentionally.
they'll be like, you're a martyr at that point.
That's a thing people do. Yeah, and people have faked getting their videos removed for that purpose. by the way.
The H3 re-upload has like 800K
Yeah.
views. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah. I
It's taken
didn't.
down.
I didn't re-upload it, and I don't really fully know why. But I think it was because, if I had to be honest, it was because the skits were the way that I justified making the video. So if I had just uploaded it without the skits, I would be like, it's just, you fucking castrated it, you know?
Right.
Like, to me, like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if they want to watch it, they can fucking watch the re-uploads or whatever. They're shitty quality, I guess, but like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Archive.org, okay? If you haven't seen it and you're like morbidly curious, banned media,
Yeah.
archive.org has like the highest quality re-upload or whatever, yeah.
That's like your social media site.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, check me out at archive.org.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Holy fuck.
Oh, God.
Anyway, yes. So, yeah. And that was I mean, so my cope is like, it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. I'm going to upload the Sneako video. Whatever happens, I'm just going to be okay. You know, it's all going to be, I'm not going to lose my platform, whatever the fuck. And it does help, by the way, that Sneako's so hated, I think, because I genuinely believe that YouTube does protect who they like,
Yeah.
like 100 million %. The
Yeah.
Fine Bros, who gave a fuck? Nobody. Like,
Yeah.
nobody. Except
Yeah.
maybe the people who, you know, like run shit.
Right.
H3, obviously, there was kind of like a meme that he was in contact with them. And then what was the other one? Fuck, Leafy. Yeah, Leafy, to be fair, who I don't know why they gave a shit. Probably because that video had 20 million views and they knew they needed to like the biggest guy, just like chop his head. But yeah, anyway, I'm sorry. This is a big tangent, but yeah.
Okay. So after the H3, were you trying to pick your targets better or something?
Right. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, you brought me back. So that was the thing. I felt so fucking weird, and genuinely, I like actually was like contrite. Like I was like, man, that felt bad. Like I felt like I committed a crime, and that was my intent. But like I succeeded. And so then Mumkey Jones got banned, and then I was like, okay, this guy got fucked.
Yeah.
He got nuked.
Yeah, he really did.
He really got nuked.
Yeah.
And
are you familiar with Mumkey Jones?
No,
Chad?
I've never heard this.
Do a quick intro for the audience.
Yeah, so Mumkey Jones, long story short, is a guy who made content that was incel adjacent in the sense of he covered Elliot Rodger, famed school attendant.
Bad guy.
Yeah, and so he would cover Elliot Rodger's like all his story. He made probably like 30-ish videos about Elliot Rodger, and it sounds obsessive, very weird.
And this is like drama.
No,
this is in support.
no, not even. So sorry, it's satire. He was a satirist. This is the big thing. He's like a comedian satirist type guy, and he was covering the Elliot Rodger story, but like as his like character of being like almost like a crackhead or like an incel. But in reality, like even in the videos, it wasn't like a front or whatever. Like he was, pilling people. He was like in the videos, he was pointing out like, yeah, this guy was like very delusional. And like, he was basically like going into like how the parents treating him could have caused this, how his own mindset was like messed up, all this stuff. And a part of that and why I cared about Mumkey mainly was that he would try to make it funny. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like milking, like, you know what I mean? It would be pretty easy to milk. And he added skits, which he did not need to do. So it's clear like his actual passion, basically. So that guy, he grew his audience to like 400,000, 500,000. He was making a decent amount of money. And literally a year before like my video got removed, whatever, and like a month or two after my H3 video was uploaded, he literally completely nuked. Zero fucking warning. All of his like side channels, everything.
Got strikes on random unlisted videos.
Unlisted, yeah,
Jesus
private
Christ.
videos.
That's
So,
that's like a YouTube nuke. That's like a YouTube
Yeah.
like I'm gonna shoot you in the head with a sniper
yeah,
rifle.
and there's like plenty of theories, all this like shit that people like conspiracy. I mean, it's possible like the FBI got involved. They're like, because the big thing was like there's that Nicholas Cruiser guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nicholas Cruz. My bad. Anyway, yeah, Nicholas Cruz or someone else. But that guy, he have you ever seen Jim Can't Swim?
No.
Okay, so he's a famous video. Maybe people watching, they've seen it, how to fake insanity or whatever. Police video. You know Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So most people have seen it. They just maybe don't know like the context, whatever. That's the guy. His literal goal, that guy was fucked in the head. But like his goal, I think he was in high school. Like he was young, I think. Anyway, he literally his goal was like, I want to break the record for like this, attending school. Yeah. And so basically when that happened, the FBI allegedly heard that, Mumkey was in his video history or whatever. And just cause like this guy was like watching him, maybe like, the FBI went to YouTube and they're like, what the fuck are you doing with this? The reason I believe to be true and personally is that YouTube, maybe they got outside heat, but I think they just perceived the potential for heat, and they're like, "Yeah, what the fuck? This will cause an adpocalypse or whatever the hell. This could cause problems." Like, yeah, no, just delete him. Like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a big decision, I don't imagine, but yes, I think
they probably had like one meeting. With
yeah,
coffee.
and they saw like one thing where like he's like buying into like the illusions of
And they're
Elliot.
like, yikes! Left swipe.
Yes, precisely. Yeah,
And then
and,
your life is ruined.
and that is like the thing where it's like a lot of like edgy creators, like once they get age restricted or a video removed, they'll feel like they fucking targeted me. It's like in reality, I think it's really like they are just normies, and like they see anything like what they're just like, well, what the fuck? Like no, like what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of upper middle class college grads
PMC,
with
bro.
MBAs.
It's literally just PMC, like the fucking like managerial class or whatever the fuck. Like you gotta like sanitize and shit.
Yeah.
But to bring back all that shit, like Mumkey got banned, and I was like I felt like this fucking like camaraderie almost. I didn't know him, I wasn't friends with him. But I was definitely like, man, I make kind of similar-ish vein type of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't fucking like talk about shooters or whatever, but like edgy. I love the skits. I like edgy skits, whatever. And so yes, at that moment I was like, fuck it, like Video Vigilante 2 is gonna be like defending a guy. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I thought in my brain that was like a cool
Yeah.
flipping it on its head, and it was kind of cool. The thing is, that one took way too long as well. Didn't take as long as this one, the Sneako one. I don't know. Every time, I don't know why the fuck this happens to me. But anyway,
That's why today and today only we are announcing the release date for the Sneako video, which is
this Saturday.
this Saturday.
Hell yeah.
This Saturday 2 day. Ooh,
Yeah. So
that's a good one.
subscribe to Gokanaru.
So if we put this out tomorrow, then
oh, is that what you want to do?
it'll be
Yeah.
out the day after.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were posting it next Thursday or something.
No, there was a thing we had to make up for. So
Oh, interesting.
coming out tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So maybe the next Saturday. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure.
Okay,
it out.
we'll say next Saturday.
Yeah. Because there's a couple logistical things that I need to decide. But
All right, next Saturday, tune into Gokanaru's channel for the last Sneako video ever.
yeah.
So here's the story as I understand it. Okay, you made your H3 video.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Mumkey got taken down. You felt camaraderie with him.
yeah.
And so basically the H3 as a sort of formative experience for your career, you were like, I need to pick better targets and I need to like.
Yeah.
So instead of like just attacking people, you're like defending people here.
Right. And
yeah.
it was a funny thing because like everybody expected me to attack somebody, and I uploaded a trailer. I had the same problems, by the way, with like fucking like final dates and shit like that. I uploaded a trailer to kind of try and convince myself to like release it on this day. Everyone thinks it's gonna be released. I fucked that up, but everyone thought I was gonna be criticizing Mumkey because he was going through some like personal drama, like
Right.
his own fucking spirals going on, which. Again, like it was literally locale content, like in the sense of like there was a Kiwi Farms forum. Like I was like, wow, that sucks. But yeah, people thought I was gonna make a video just like punching down on this guy, and in reality, I was trying to like defend him.
But did the hogs go for it? Because there was no blood. You weren't drawing more blood from the dying horse.
When I uploaded it,
Did the hogs go for it? What was the reaction from the hogs?
yeah, the hogs did not.
They didn't slop it up.
No, they didn't
They
slop
want
it.
they want you to kill.
Yeah, so that
The
was
hogs want blood.
so that's actually important because that's when I got officially Blackpilled on YouTube. Where I realized because and even it's funny because I kind of knew that was a theme in the fucking video. I already knew it was a hopeless like completely because here's the thing, like when I made the H3 video, my goal was to make an impact or whatever the fuck that meant. You know what I mean?
You were still hopeful. You had ideals.
And I succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I succeeded. The thing is like when I was decided to make the Monkey Jones video, I literally in my head, I was like, I actually want him to come back. I literally, if whatever I could do, it would maybe be through this video. If like, you know, and plus people might share it, it obviously would be good for me. But like, my goal, I actually just wanted like, if we can actually get him back or some shit. And slowly as I was producing it, more stuff like unearthed, like in terms of like YouTube cut, like getting more and more strict. There was another adpocalypse that occurred because of like pedos and comments or whatever the fuck happened. And I was just like slowly blackpilled through the process where I was like, yeah, he's just like, there's no way. But I still had the themes in the video of like, I'm taking this seriously. Like I'm going to try. But yeah, in the end of the video, to spoil, I guess, but like, it's very clear that I'm very blackpilled at the end of that video. Like I basically like realized like, I'm in my fucking fantasy world if I think I can do anything. And so that in tandem with the reality of uploading that video and no YouTubers gave a fuck. No YouTubers gave a fuck. And that's the best video I think I've ever made. Genuinely, if any video I ever made, I would want to spread like wildfire, it would be that one. Also, when I uploaded that video, it got immediately removed, completely removed immediately. I got a strike. And then I had to appeal on Twitter, get a little bit of support, and it got put back up, but demonetized basically. So it was like stunted hard as fuck from the start. And it was because, from what I understand, it was because I put footage of Elliot. You know what I mean? Like literally, like they don't fuck with that at all.
Have you considered Minecraft gaming content?
Yes. So yeah.
Seems a lot easier.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Like for real. That's when I became Blackpilled in the sense
Are
of.
you still Blackpilled?
No, because I'm past that. I'm like,
you're white-pilled?
I'm Joker mode. Yeah.
Oh, he's Joker mode. Okay.
This is Blackpill in context to YouTube content.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm a very hopeful person in general, and I hope to fucking rub that off on you. I hope it comes through a little bit. Like, I'm not super depressed talking about this. It's exciting now because I've never talked about this shit, but like...
Yeah, you're going.
Yeah, bro. I know. Yeah, fucking whatever.
Your dopamine's exploding here.
Yeah, bro. Exactly. Yeah. It's like you're unearthing old-ass memories. But, yeah, no. But, like, basically, I realized, people want to see people get killed. Like, people want to see, like, carnage. They want to see like tearing people down.
The hogs want blood.
Yes, they want blood. Yeah, like they're not getting rain. The gods aren't raining on us if you're just like helping people. It's like you need to sacrifice. And so that's when I started to realize like, okay,
take notes, burgeoning drama YouTubers. The gods demand sacrifice.
So like my cope again, like I'm always coping because I know like the amount of impact I can have or whatever. But like my cope is like, I hope maybe if we can do this, like maybe I can raise the bar for like sacrifice, if that makes sense. Like maybe we can raise the bar of like, this guy, he deserved it. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. But here are like some more like general reasons. Like here, maybe you can like actually learn from this guy. And it's not just like this guy's a degenerate pedo piece of shit, whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't like this shit where people watch content of people more fucked up than them to like, they're like
feel better about their own
exactly
lives.
Yeah, that's a big part of trauma content. Massive part.
It's like this person's so weird and stupid and like my life's not great, but at least I'm not them. That's what the lol cow serves as. It's literally like a sacrificial lol cow, sacrificial lamb, sacrificial lol lamb.
I mean, it's like also just boring after a certain point for me. Like so I hope. Sorry, go on.
Who just released a Boogie 298 video?
Could have been a lot of people that I know.
I saw one. That's how I felt when I saw that. I was like, this guy's over. Like, what is there to learn about this? He's a depressed fat guy. He's famous for being depressed and fat. Like, what can we do with this anymore?
He got like a 19-year-old girlfriend or something. He looks happy for the first time, and it's just like pedophile. You know what I mean?
He shot a gun into the air and then got like fucking charged by Frank Hassel.
Facts, actually. There's a lot of like lore. Thing is, there's some people who like lean into that, you know, a little bit. Like Boogie leans into like that because like he isn't that talented from what I can tell. Like this is the problem with locals. Like the only attention they get is when they're fucking degenerates.
Boogie, I will cure all of your health issues with a 90-day fast. If you let me, I will live with you for free. If you let me just hang out with you and if you listen to me and drink water and fast for 90 days. And you will have no more health problems. It's true.
But like, and I do feel like there's like a kind of, again, this can be very cope, but like I do feel like there's a kind of a feeling or a sentiment of like people getting sick of, you know, more mundane, like less fucking nuanced, whatever content, whatever you want to say. Because like, iDubbbz, you know, he kind of went on a similar-ish kind of mentality, clearly, where it's like he thinks his old like tearing down people videos are like dog shit.
Yeah, he broke
bad. Yeah, but like, you know, but like he did those fucking documentaries where it was more like about the person, you know what I mean? It wasn't like necessarily like,
that seems like a maturing or like an evolution in that sense. Instead of just tearing someone down, it's like kind of doing a biography of their life. Yeah,
and like I believe Turkey Tom's planning like similar content. He's actually like influential in the commentary space, so it's interesting to see. But right now I literally have no influence in the commentary community. Zero. Like literally zero.
You're not posting.
Exactly. It's all in my head. But like in my head, it's like once I start posting, bro, like shit's, you know, here we go.
Well, next Saturday.
Saturday, Sneako video. And then and then once a month after that per year.
Yeah, let's talk about Sneako. Actually.
Okay, let's talk about Sneako.
I like Sneako.
What has happened since in Sneako's life? Like, what are the main plot points since you started working on Sneako?
Dude, it's like, this is like there's a lot. Okay. All right.
And let's say we'll hold you to try to summarize it within like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. So basically, long story short, Andrew Tate was a big fucking like flame in the dark, okay, for a lot of people. For some reason, that guy explosive, right?
Wait, hold on. I'll stop you there. I think we know the reason. What no mentor or community does to a motherfucker.
Right. Correct. Yes. Yeah. If you're isolated and you're
a young
alienated... alienated as well. Like if your work, literally you get paid like shit and you're treated like shit at your work.
You're 18, your dad's like fat and absent, you've never had a man you respect in your life your entire life. All of a sudden Andrew Tate pops up, of course you're gonna get drawn towards that.
If you provide no positive role model for people, they will gravitate towards I have a skit which is like if you don't provide like young men need sex trafficker role models, and if they don't have any good sex trafficker role models, they'll find him. So we need better sex trafficker role models.
Yes, that's facts. Oh man, but that's so funny. It's one of these things too where it's like for me, I felt that too, bro, completely. Like the alienation, the anger, absolutely, still feel it. And I think it's important to acknowledge when you feel it. Like if you suppress that shit too hard, like it comes out in weird ways.
Oh, that's a theme in your Sneako video.
Yeah,
as well. It
true.
It comes out in you.
J-Reg's in my Sneako video, by the way, and you have like the most fun role too.
Which is why it has to come out next Saturday.
Yeah.
Next Saturday. I'm gonna keep saying it until we manifest it.
Yeah, no, that was a fun ass collab. Holy shit, I can't believe that was almost a year ago. Holy fuck. Anyway.
All right. Okay. Plot points. Sorry, you still have 3 minutes.
Fighting the Blackpilled. All right. So, yes, Andrew Tate was like a light in the dark. Right?
Yeah.
And all these little moths started getting attracted to him. In my opinion, in general, Andrew Tate, shitty advice. The surface level stuff, obviously good. It's like obvious.
It's about hating women, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what yes, exactly. No, like his advice about like politics, all that stuff, great. Going to the gym, masturbating, all that stuff, like the fuck, don't go to the gym, masturbate, make sure every 3 times anyway. But yeah, jokes aside though, like he was basically like a big light in the dark. He has that like edgy allure. He's a tough guy, rich, literally every single desire that you could potentially project onto a kid.
Yeah, he's like fucking Tony Stark,
bro. Like combine like Avengers, like Fast and the Furious, with the cars and shit, like fucking like Taken, like, or any kind of like action movie hero type guy. He's like literally like, oh fuck.
And Sneako, a man with no mentor community.
Correct.
Obviously, considering he's hanging with Zerka now.
Yeah.
So he's Andrew Tate, and is like, he's just like me for real. This is the guy who's going to occupy the mentor space in my head.
Yes, correct. And here's the thing. He didn't initially buy fully into it. Like, it was a bit of a slow process, whatever. He started streaming, though. He started reacting to Tate on stream, which is fascinating shit, because it's like you kind of watch him get radicalized or whatever the fuck. But there's a flip that switches when he's like, no, I fuck with Tate. I like this. I like it a lot. There's a switch that flips where he's like, I'm on the wave. I want to be a part of this. Like I don't give a fuck whatever the narrative is. I'm buying into it. And so like him and Hamza, this is like a side character that I'm, whatever. He's like another self-help guy who's like his thing is really self-help. He basically had a beef with Hamza where Hamza was like, Sneako, you're a degenerate. And then Sneako's like, fuck you, dude. Like, I'm not a degenerate. And then he got like Hamza was the first guy that like called him a cuck, basically. Yeah. Like really called him a cuck for that podcast episode. And initially like that fucked with Sneako hard. There was a couple other things like Brandon Buckingham like saying he's going to run a train on his girl that fucked with him hard. And so there was definitely like a certain psyche thing going on where he was like, oh, fuck, my masculinity is like very like nebulous right now. And his conclusion was basically like, Andrew Tate's the way. I'm going to fucking do it. And so there was multiple figures though, besides Tate. There was Tate like from a high level, but then there's like a bunch of opportunist kind of weird finance guys who were talking to Sneako, speaking into his ear as soon as he started blowing up. Because these finance guys are smart in a sense. They're like extremely opportunistic, but they know where opportunity is. And they knew that Sneako was like on a wave, They felt it because by now Sneako was like fully like fuck women, basically like on the fresh and fit wave, all that shit.
He just got like 1 million subs.
Yeah, but like we're talking like while he was like approaching like Nirvana. So it was more like he was just blowing up. His second channel, oh, you're right. His main channel got 1 million subs, but this was before the wave, I think.
The second channel. I forgot about the second channel.
The second channel is where all the fucking shit went down, basically. Like the main channel, he was still very soft-footed on or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, the second channel just like, it was like a cancer. It like completely consumed his brain, like entirely. Because he was just making a ton of money.
Okay, at what point during this did you start working on the video?
Oh, yeah, like the second I saw the Chad thing, I was like, oh, yeah, no, I see this.
What was the Chad?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her.
Right. Sorry. So the this is like a I guess like a liberal woman or whatever. What do you call them? There's a breadtube kind of ish.
Breadtube adjacent.
Adjacent, yeah. It's like this reaction content. It's like Nick
she
is not
wasn't
green.
Even like far left. She was like just kind of like a normal.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, cute girl, green hair.
But her
center
thing.
left.
But the whole thing is like her thing is like making fun of like meninist, like idiots, like they're idiots. Like she definitely picks like dumbasses, you know. And Sneako would like reacting to her video. Someone sent it to him, and he's like so pissed off that day, so fucking pissed off. It's like an incredible video if you watch the whole thing. I was watching it live. That's why I was like, wow. I was like, there's no way he leaves this up. Like this, there's 0% chance that this guy, like he has to know this is like bannable, because I know pretty well what can get you banned. And like what he was saying absolutely can get you banned without a doubt in my mind. It was like a lot of time too. Like it was like 20 solid minutes of him like going hard. Just like basically berating her, saying she's a dumbass feminist, she needs dick, whatever the fuck. Like there's like the famous like simulated choking.
In Minecraft.
No, in real life. Like, sorry, in Minecraft. Yeah, he actually, that was like his funny thing. Every time he would do something fucked up, he'd be like, in Minecraft. Man. But anyway, so yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I see where this is going. I see this guy's like actually like a bad influence. Like that was when I was like, oh yeah, he's lost in the sauce. Like this is like, he's buying into the wave consciously a little bit, but like he also is enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like he's like buying into it emotionally too. Right. Funny enough, he was seeing a girl at that time. Like he had a girlfriend at that time. So it's like he's shitting on women, saying like women, you can't empathize. They can't empathize with men. All this shit, all this grift. While he had a girlfriend who was like, you know, complacent with it or whatever. Right. There's like a lot of shit I could. Like I hate.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right here. We're 10 minutes into this 5
Sorry, bro.
And we've covered maybe 10%.
Well, this is why I want to talk about it in more of like maybe like a grand, like fucking like, you know, higher level sense. Because I could literally, it's so annoying because I just know too much because I was there, I think.
Yeah, you've absorbed all these details.
Yes.
Let's talk about it from a higher level sense.
Yeah. Okay. So just to go back to the thing, like I decided to make the video then, and I was thinking in my head, like, he is not going to upload this Chad video because what was going on, the whole thing, every day he would stream for like 4 or 5 hours, whatever, immediately get clipped, like super lazily, super aggressively, and uploaded onto the second channel. I was like, there's no way they're going to clip this Chad segment. Fully clipped, every single part of it, nothing cut, uploaded, SJW feminist fucking whatever, cringe compilation, whatever it is. That was the moment when I realized like, oh fuck, this guy's like self-destructive. Like this guy's very stupid, like sincerely stupid. That, or he was genuinely trying to get banned. But obviously when he got banned, he was like trying to be a martyr, whatever the hell. The thing with people like Sneako is like, he actually benefits from having his opinions, right? Whereas the people watching him don't. They really, I think, don't, right? So like,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So like he has an incentive to hate or shit on women, whatever you want to say, to hate or shit on gays. Like he's gone through the full arc of just hating everyone except Muslims and whites, basically. That's like kind of his like he just knows that's his audience. You know what I mean? Like that's a big thing. Like there's one thing. He faked getting jumped, and then a bunch of people, because like people were sending him death threats or whatever. He faked getting jumped, and he like on stream like rubbed the makeup off. He's like, "You fucking idiots, you stupid dumbasses, wishing on my death, you dummies." And then he started mocking Muslim prayers, and he got real death threats. And he came on stream, and you remember this?
I watched that happen in real life.
Yeah, and he got real death threats, and then he was like, it's really fucked up, guys. Like, I'm getting death threats. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
He was actually worried he was going to get killed at that point.
Yes, but he also was conscious of like, he would like say like, I'm losing subscribers. Like people are pissed off. Like he knew like his target demo.
This is such a fascinating story. I mean, it's such like an interesting character because he's so emblematic of what the internet does to your brain.
Yeah. Yeah. He's this is the thing. Like a lot of people, it's like two camps. It's like, he's a complete grifter, like total cynical fucking whatever. And he is like total idiot, like completely buys into it. It's like, this is never how it works with these especially with influencers, bro. Like they just don't give that much of a shit. That's like the fundamental thing. Like he doesn't give that much of a fuck about the truth, not the literal truth, but definitely doesn't give that much of a fuck about what he believes. Not at all. It's literally very much correlated to like, what does the audience think? That is what shapes their brain. It's like not a situation. This is the biggest like cancer that I see with like a lot of fucking creators is it's like some people upload videos and they assume like that they're the ones who are influencing the audience. In reality, I think that a lot of people get lost in their own sauce and they don't realize that the audience is influencing them. You know what I mean? Like it's a feedback loop. So that's how you get people who are like stagnant as fuck because they're just like serving up what they know people want. If that makes sense. They're not serving up anything like interesting. In the case of Sneako, he realized like I blackballed, like especially after the Chad shit, like he started really like getting heat. He realized like I burned the bridge with every SJW, whatever the fuck you want to say. Like I'm just committing to like the quacks, the fucking, and now his big thing is kids. Like he really, and back then it was kids, but kind of unintentionally. But Sneako loves kids, and I mean that. Like he loves them. You know why?
Because they're impressionable.
Facts.
I guess because they're dumb or something.
Yeah, because they don't care. They don't care really. Like this is like a big thing that I've kind of accepted. Is like, on like a higher level or whatever the fuck you want to say, like kids don't really think about shit like that hard, which makes sense. Like I'm not even like saying kids are idiots. Like kids are actually kind of smart in a lot of cases. But the thing is that they buy into hype like really easily, if that makes any sense. And like literally, I think it was like yesterday or fucking 2 days ago. Like you need to understand at the start of this wave, like before, like at the same time that he made like that Chad thing, he was not anti-gay. He was not fucking like a lot of his opinions hadn't been cemented. He wasn't like on the like once he talked to Fuentes, that was when shit was just like that was when he was like, oh yeah, this is the wave, like you know what I mean. And so what kind of like needs to be understood about Sneako is before this shit, he was like a pretty vehement anti-racist. Like this guy has a lot of black friends. He has like,
isn't he half black?
He's half, he's Haitian and fucking the fuck's the word? Filipino, yeah. Anyway, and he had a bunch. He literally says like I had a bunch of Jewish and black friends growing up, and so there's like again the same stream that he shit heavily on Chad. He like went on this long tangent shitting on a chatter who like called a black woman a monkey or something like that. Like literally he was like, get that shit the fuck out of here, ban that guy. Like he was pissed off. And a week later he talks to Nick Fuentes and he's like, he's getting canceled a little bit. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I see the wave now. I see it. I see the path. And then that led him to Kanye. Yeah. Like he just got rewarded for it non-fucking stop. Yeah. And you can say removing your channel is like, you know, it's like he got punished for it, but in reality, like he had already written off the channel when when that chat shit got uploaded in my mind, and like every fucking like controversy, whatever, was just like in his brain, like attention. Like I got fucking attention, you know. Yeah.
Who would win your internal anti-racist values and lived experience with a diverse group of friends or views on the internet?
Yeah, literally, yeah. For real though, like. And it really is a situation where he chose that path. Like he totally consciously was like, fuck it, I don't care. But his audience, if the audience wasn't there, he wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? Like the audience did shape his brain in terms of like what I'm cool with. And there's like tons of clips now of Sneako doing shit like for the chatters or whatever. That's just like completely contradicting his fucking morals, like horrendously, that he just doesn't give a shit. Like anybody who like, speaks highly or doesn't, you know, think that Sneako's a grift or like it's fine. Like it's just like I think you just haven't seen what I've seen. Like you just weren't there kind of thing. Like you just I think you just like remember his like older videos, which they were good videos, you know what I mean? Like But what Cloud does to a motherfucker, I think that's his case. Because he has a community. He found a community in the fucking alt-right, whatever.
He has a community now.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the community when he was getting into this.
Is that true? Yeah, that's semi-true.
He was pretty much alone. I mean, he had maybe some friends, but...
Well, he definitely had a lot of friends. Let's be clear. Sneako's like... he's not like a loser in the way that he lives his life. He's a loser for like the way that he operates online. Okay. If I can put it any way. Like, okay. When it comes to people in general, like what's your impression of Sneako, like even now, but like back then, like what did you think of him? I don't know.
When I watched him like before when he just made good videos.
Yeah.
Right? And I was a really big fan of him like years ago.
Yeah.
And definitely like he seemed a little naive. Like his good videos are like a little surface level. They're not like super deep, but like it's just nice. I don't know. It's nice like well shot content about like a young man growing up.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like Lost obviously didn't have like a lot of direction. He was just like very clearly trying to figure things out, and that's like the message you got across. He's like, I'm like a 23-year-old trying to figure out the world.
Yes.
So I figured he didn't have a lot of like he wasn't a very passionate person about any individual thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not super surprised, but I never thought he was like a genius or anything. He just made good YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I can kind of relate to that. I feel like if you're someone who's lost, then you hunger for a purpose or a drive or a perspective.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, it'll just pick something up off the ground.
And the video that blew him up was like paying people $1 to say the N-word. That was like it wasn't like the cinematic like narrative 10-minute videos about growing up. It was like man in the street like slop content.
So in many ways, we created Sneako. We're the monsters.
Yeah, not really. I think he's definitely like a fucking Miskeen in my mind. But like the thing is like he was again like talented guy. And a big part of it is people really did feel like they kind of grew up with Sneako. Like he succeeded in giving that good vibe where it's like this guy, he's on the path, you know what I mean? He's not claiming to know shit. He's just on the path. With the Tate arc, whatever the fuck you want to say, the red pill wave, he was kind of claiming to have found the path, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, he's like, I found it, yeah. I'm 25 years old and I figured out what life is all about.
Yes, and it's just garbage. Like it's literally just complete garbage. Like the amount of just absolute garbage takes that I've seen from him, it's like zero thought put into, by the way. It's literally regurgitated from the other like alt-right like associates that he has. Yeah. Like completely, because he's grifting. Like that's the whole thing. Like especially after he got canceled, whatever, he realized like, fuck, the wave is like dying. I gotta do controversial shit, gotta say controversial shit, like real controversial, like shit that'll get you completely blackballed.
Go to Romania, get on the Pearl Davis podcast.
What's that?
Pearl Davis?
Oh yeah, Pearl Davis. She's in Romania?
No, like go to Romania,
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Pearl Davis podcast.
Sorry.
And let me take you out of the details of his life here.
Yes, yeah.
So
please,
when someone's listening to this, they might think, okay, who cares?
Yeah, literally.
This guy, he's just some loser on the internet.
You shouldn't care, for the record, yeah.
But actually, I disagree. I think you're doing something important. You're doing like an ethnography of a certain sort of person on the internet.
Yes.
And Sneako as an example of this is like very interesting to dig into. So I guess I want to hear your perspective. Like, what is the value of analyzing Sneako's life? You spent a year on this. I don't believe you spent a year on this because you shouldn't care about it.
No. I didn't mean that. I meant you shouldn't care about Sneako beyond what you can learn from him, if that makes sense, right?
So, what should we, as people who are on the internet, or people who consume a lot of internet stuff, or people who are involved with this sphere, learn from Sneako?
So I think the biggest thing to learn from Sneako is that he is like fundamentally like a coward, like a real coward. I genuinely believe that. And there's definitely things that he's done that you could say are brave, like because here's the thing you need to understand. I made this video for his demographic in mind, right? Which is extremely like different domain than like literally the probably at this point thousands of like RedTube contents and just like obviously making it clear like this guy's not like the vibe, whatever. That shit got really saturated really fast because it's easy to point at him and be like degenerate, fucking weirdo, bad opinion, immoral, evil, or whatever the fuck. And he does the same thing to them, for the record. Like this whole evil thing, like people are evil. It's one of the biggest copes I've ever seen, bro. It's so funny. There are sure evil people, whatever, but like if you really want to moralize shit, like everyone in their head thinks they're doing something that's like net benefit to the world or whatever the fuck. And so, yes, if you go like a layer deeper, it's more like when you hear so many dog shit opinions from Sneako and you realize like, oh, this guy actually doesn't really care that much. You realize that like, yeah, you can have brave opinions theoretically, but like bravery is more determined by like how will it hurt you by saying it, right? And so like they'll see like, again, kids will see like Sneako saying like, gay people touch kids because they want to turn kids gay. Yeah. Like really good stuff like that. And they'll basically like in their head, they might just tacitly like accept that, like whatever, like, yeah, it's like funny. It's like funny because it's shocking. They don't hear that shit in school. In school, nowadays, obviously they do try to like not make it so the kids that are gay aren't getting shoved in lockers. Yeah. This is another whole arc like thing I could go on like where it's like, holy fuck.
But you're not going to go on it. You're going to keep high level analysis. Here's what I'm saying. This is like a Marianas Trench of filth.
Yes. Yeah.
You've dived in.
It's the abyss.
For someone like me, for example, I'm not as deep into this filth.
You shouldn't be, yeah.
But you're deep in the filth.
Yeah.
And your job is to get the pearls of wisdom in the filth.
Yes.
And bring them up.
Yes.
But without being driven insane. That's your job.
So this is exactly, thank you for bringing me back. because it really is like just a little bit.
I can tell your mind has been a little destroyed.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's facts though. Like, but it's at least my choice. But it's interesting though, because you're right. But the thing is like, fundamentally, I truly believe he's a coward, and it's not because of his opinions. It's not because of any shit like that. I think that you can have like brave, quote unquote, opinions or whatever. Like people will look at Nick Fuentes and be like, "Oh, that guy's brave for saying what he does." You know what I mean? Which is, in my mind, delusional. Because what to me, outs someone's real like identity is what they do in reality and their ideas, right? So like an opinion is a bit different in my mind from an idea, right? Because an opinion is like most opinions are pretty lazy, and like someone could like casually think like, oh yeah, the Jews control the world, whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. In reality, it's just capitalists. Like the whole anti-Semitism thing is like just capitalism, like anti-capitalism for like the dumbest fucking idiots you can imagine.
Yeah, I know they'll never take that next step.
Yeah,
I think misogyny is anti-capitalism too. Like if you look at the Red Pill's critique of women. I like not being able to like take care of children or like valuing their career first. They're critiquing capitalism, but they won't go the last step. They somehow blame women for like having to work 80 hours a week and not being able to be mothers.
Correct. Exactly.
It's their personal agency to do so. It's not like the economy or anything.
And you know the reason why they consciously ignore that fact? In the case of Sneako, conscious in my opinion.
Ignores the capitalist argument.
Yeah. Why? Because he loves money. He's selfish.
Yeah. They like understand how capitalism works, and they just want to be on top.
Precisely. This is a big part of This is a big part of his philosophy, like his genuine philosophy. If that makes any sense. He doesn't actually give that much of a fuck about other people. Truly, I genuinely think that. If he does care about people, it's only insofar as like they can serve him or they won't like impede on his fucking potential, right?
Well, this is kind of what I was thinking. This is what I've taken away from it is like this all started, I think, like what I remember kind of being the first step off the deep end is at some point he was like, I'm going to get my act together and make $1 million this year.
Yeah, that was
actually the first step.
That was
like
the first that was when he was getting millionaires whispering in his ear.
Yeah. He was like, I need to be a millionaire. And like, I don't care how I get that money.
Oh, yeah, he had the Tristan Tate interview, and Tristan Tate was like, you make your first $1 million, we'll throw you a party.
Yeah, there's a guy called Luke Belmar who's like, he's actually just, I think capitalist realism is what he is. Like, he's just like, it's like a Marxist analysis of like the economy, but like, I want to be a king. You know what I mean? Like, which is, there's coherence to that. Yeah. What there's not much coherence to is like when he got into like Nick Fuentes, the anti-gay stuff, that's less coherent and that's more like heavy ideology, if that makes sense. Like he was just buying into whatever the fuck. Like,
but I guess if that's profitable, right, it does make sense to.
Well, no, he completely like, again, every single fucking decision, big deal that he made about like changing his opinion or whatever was to incentivize him to make money. Like again, now he's like kind of come full circle where he's dropped like again after like completely grifting heavy on the Muslim arc is literally what it was. Now 2 days ago he's convincing a kid to say the M-word. Hey, fucking oh yeah, right now he's literally, as we're speaking, he's streaming with Summer Rae, who's a porn star. It's like literally there's hundreds of hours of him just like talking about how women and whatever, porn stars bad, whatever. Yeah, and like obviously he's not like following.
Well, you don't have to be coherent on the internet.
No, yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. Like,
it actually pays to be a little bit incoherent. Say both things at once. Speak out of both sides of your mouth. I know that firsthand.
Yeah. Why?
That was my whole shtick.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, he tries to like, obviously like kind of take the kind of like who gives a fuck type of route. But there's like months and months and months where he's like pretending to give a fuck, like really just cementing like, I really care about these things, you know what I mean? And then it's like immediately when Aiden Ross or whatever is like, bro, I want to bring you on these streams, but like you can't be shitting on like Jews and gays, bro. I'm a gay Jew or whatever. You know what I mean? He's like, he's like basically like, okay, guys, the red pill, like, you know, it's dying. And he literally, by the way, like everyone thinks like he just said like the red pill's garbage. No, he says like, I agree with everything you guys are saying, but like you're just nerds. Like I just don't want to debate anyone anymore is the thing. And that's like the thing. He just wants to go on the next wave, which is hanging out with rappers, hanging out with kick streamers. Yeah. And that's where the kids are, bro.
Who the fuck is Neon?
Some kid. He's like a 19-year-old. His whole shtick is that he's kind of like an idiot kid, but he's like an eccentric, whatever. Like,
and he's a kick streamer.
Yeah, it's like there's like a new wave in the vein of like Ice Poseidon or whatever. I just don't give a shit at this point. Like that's the thing. Like why it has been hard to finish this video because like in my mind it's like he became way less interesting way less interesting when it just became too obvious that he didn't care. Like, actually, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to put it exactly, but like when he started taking himself seriously and he was like yelling slurs at people, like a particular slur, like he really started leaning into gay people hard. When I started seeing that shit on his
leaning into gay people hard.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's like a ton of shit. Like, again, it's one of these things where he doesn't care. He doesn't care as a person. Yeah. Like he will even now probably like lean into gay jokes or whatever. Right. The thing is, and the big thing is like kids, all they fucking see of Sneako, they don't get this like kind of nuanced picture that I get because like, you know, I was there and whatever the fuck. All that they see is the clipped TikTok clip of him saying, yeah, gay people, they want more gay people. They're trying to groom gay, like kids to be gay. Like that's the whole thing. Like they're demented, they're evil. And that gets clipped and that gets literally 4 million, 5 million views, whatever, collectively. It's like the centralized fucking, yeah. And whatever clip of him saying like, you know, gay, you know, I don't really care enough about gay people to like really hate them, you know, that's not getting clipped. You know what I mean? So it's like, in effect, again, he's a coward, like in my mind, because it's like these opinions that you have, they're not fucking like brave for you. Like this is your literal whole thing. And like in the case of Fuentes, like your ideas tell a lot more, I think, about you than your opinions, because all of Sneako's opinions are secondhand at this point. Because like when it goes to Fuentes, he's the guy with more like solutions, right? Which is why Sneako likes saying like Nick Fuentes for president. Like he really thinks Nick Fuentes is going to be like a president. He like loves Sneako loves kids and Nick Fuentes. Those are the two biggest things that Sneako loves.
Sneako's like when you have too much bad community, like excess community.
It's not just that though. He sought it out. He really did seek it out.
But he has no opinion. Like he has no opinions.
Right.
Like he's like formless. But then Nick Fuentes is like atomized, and he's only opinions.
Right.
And they're bad opinions that make no sense. But he'll just like he has conviction on shit that makes no sense.
All right. So here's the thing. Here's why Nick Fuentes is like an interesting guy to examine.
He's got a nice smile.
Yeah, he's cute.
Beautiful smile.
He is cute.
Yeah, he's a cutie. Oh man, he's got like
I want to give him a Happy Meal.
Yeah, he's got like that face like a grandma would love, dude. Yeah. But yeah, here's why Nick Fuentes is interesting, because that's when people like, and they're right when they say this, but that's when people say like, oh, that's why Sneako's dangerous, because his affiliation with Nick or whatever. And it's like, I don't like attributing power to these guys, and they don't really, you know, have that much power, thankfully, or whatever. Because the second that they got power, you would know, because they'd start banning things, they'd start, you know, sending the military places. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these guys are like I'm just gonna talk more nebulously about this, like alt-right, like the real rabbit hole.
Okay, I'm just gonna say we're an hour in and we've covered maybe a third of it. So do you want to get a 3-hour podcast?
Yeah, sorry guys.
At this rate,
I mean,
he has 2 hours left of dopamine in his brain. I see it,
bro. We can keep going. It doesn't have to end in an hour.
This is easily the most autistic and schizophrenic podcast we've had so far.
Wait, but I've been talking for literally 90% of it.
Yeah, no, we love it. It's great.
Shit,
there's just a lot to cover.
And
good, no dead air.
Yeah. Is it good? It's good.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm having a great time.
All right, fuck it.
I can tell
you can feel the passion,
right? To talk about this for like
well, like here's the thing, like you know, the type of shit that I'm doing, like most people don't want to even hear about it. You know what I mean? Like when you delve into the swamps, people don't want to see like what you pull out if you're just telling them about it a lot of the times. Like especially the people I interact with online, people love that shit. Obviously, this is like the whole thing. It's a weird little like voyeuristic thing, but the people that I interact with, like the whatever women, even the dudes either like Sneako and they don't give a fuck, and the women are just like, it's a write-off. I don't want to even think about it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like I'm really like delving into this zone where nobody really gives a fuck in my personal life.
Yeah, it's you have to learn, I guess, how to like also articulate like what the pearls are as well.
Yeah, this helps with that.
Yeah. One of the pearls I think Gokanaru has brought up with this example here is your hyperreal self is like, it's pretty flexible. You can be whoever you want to be on the internet. Yeah. But if you want your hyperreal self to make your real self money, then your hyperreal self can be kind of contorted into a very extreme shape by the forces of capital. And that's what happened with Sneako. He's like, and then that hyperreal self that is all in this weird shape. You are in, you know, whatever shape you were born with, whatever shape your values brought you to be. But then you just sort of adopt your hyperreal shape. Your hyperreal shape is now this messed up, warped figure, and you, to keep up with it, because that's the thing that's making you money. That's the thing that's brought you value and joy in your life.
Right.
You have to turn into that parody of yourself.
Yeah.
It's how the internet makes you post-ironic. The internet makes you into your own character.
Yes, yeah. He was like the whole time he was in the Muslim grifter arc. And again, I say that if you're listening to this and you think that's disrespectful, I'm sorry, but I don't think he's like a good representative of that faith at all.
That's it's another very interesting pearl, I think, that you can dig up from the Red Pill community in general, but also Sneako, is their conception of religion.
Oh my God, dude.
Because it's like a memified version of Islam.
Completely.
It's crazy, man.
It's insane. Sorry, go on, yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, like, just talk to any Muslim with conviction about their faith. They don't fucking act like that. 4% of Muslims have multiple wives. Like, it's not like the whole Arab world is polyamorous.
Yes.
It's such a small percentage.
It's like they read a Wikipedia page or something, or like a 4chan like thread about Islam, and we're like, okay, this is what I want. And that's their like, but they are. That's what I'm really fascinated about as well. Is like how the internet has warped religion and our perception of religion.
Yeah.
And who gets into religion.
So this is why this video has taken so long. It really is the reason, because there are so many domains that he flew into without caring.
Right.
And then it's like all of the like pieces that I'm picking up. I'm like, holy fuck, this is deep. Like, you know what I mean? Like again, with religion, with the anti-Semitism, that's a whole like big thing you could go into. There's the fucking hating women thing. There's the hating gays thing. There's that fucking hating aggressive, like being a capitalist or whatever the fuck. There's the anti-porn. Like there's so much just that I want to just touch on, just like, you know what I mean? So much. And he as a person has so much shit that I can just say like, look at his character. He's still fucking stupid, dumbass, like fucking piece of shit. Like, you know,
should you have just made 30 videos about this? Each one covering a different topic?
No, this is the right way. This is the right way. Yeah, I have a good instinct about this, I think. Yeah, this is the right way. Like, again, like the thing is like I could have milked it the whole entire way through. I should have probably. I really should have, maybe. Yeah, but like for my psyche, this is the way.
Right.
It needs to be a battle, and it has been a battle, and we're nearing the end of the battle. It's good. I mean, there's whatever. It's still
another nugget. If I can,
sorry, keep going.
Posit what nuggets that I'm seeing.
My bad.
Is I think that if you don't have a real world mentor, you will look for online mentors.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think it really goes to show, like, if you're a young man, young person in general, I would say it really pays to have a real world mentor that you actually have communication with. And like I'm pretty sure Andrew Tate is talking about Sneako now and saying bad things about him, right?
Not even.
No?
No.
I thought I saw some clip where
it's like some bullshit. These guys, this is where I say like these guys are cowards, bro. Because they don't directly talk about each other, because they don't want to because they have this creed where it's like, you don't betray your friends. And like they've established themselves as friends, even though they only like hung out for 2 days or some shit.
Yeah, that's kind of like, that's like a pathetic mentorship.
It's horrendous.
That's like a simulacra of a mentorship.
Yeah, but like Tate should be saying like Sneako's a degenerate, like fuck that guy. But like because he met him, because he has like this whole, and these guys are politicians, bro. Like straight up, these guys are politicians. I mean that in every way. The least politician that you'll see on like YouTube or whatever is Peterson, I think. But even he is a politician. Like the pussy-footed way that he would talk about Andrew Tate until like it's like, oh, now we're the amount of resentment that was clearly building up.
Give him hell, Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show him who's boss.
Oh my God. Yeah, man, what a criminal. But yeah, anyway, so like to bring us back, sorry. Yes, what no community does to a motherfucker, absolutely. But that is more to the audience. Again, right. That's not like this is almost like my thing with like criticizing people is like, I don't want it to just be about the person. Like, apply to your own life, please. You know what I mean? If you can, whatever wisdom you can pull from it. But so
it's hard. You're like navigating the chaos of someone's life.
Yeah.
But then there are lessons in it, and you're trying to like communicate those lessons to people, like normal people.
But the biggest thing is communicating them efficiently and funny. That's the hard. It's extremely difficult, because I could have made this a video essay, bro. It would have been pretty fucking easy. But to make it a spectacle, because that's all kids like watching a lot of the times. Like, what the fuck? Like, kids, it makes sense. Like, I was like that too. I still kind of am. A lot of people are like that. Like, the type of person who will listen to a video essay is already going to think like homophobia bad, fucking hating women probably dumb. You know what I mean? So yes, making it like accessible to kids, basically. this is not the way I should word that, but like
Gokanaru is after the children.
No, I really don't like having kid audience, but like, let's just say theoretically, like Sneako's audience, they grow up, they can watch this shit.
Well, can I say this? Your brothers were fans of Sneako, are fans of Sneako.
No, they like Tate. They like
Tate fans.
Not all of them, by the way, but yes, I think most of my brothers.
And that's part of your motivation for making this, is because you've seen your brothers kind of.
Yeah,
How many brothers do you have?
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was expecting like 7 or something.
My dad doesn't use condoms. Yeah.
Do you have sisters?
No. Yeah.
So your dad's kind of like an alpha Chad, populating.
My dad is. Yeah. He's I wish he'd come back though. But yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. That's facts though. Like, it's funny because like I probably look pretty feminine or whatever the hell, but like. Realistically, like in terms of like upbringing, all this shit, like I probably had like a more fucking like by Sneako terms, because these guys really like hyper fetishize masculinity, like a lot, like it's weird. Like they literally like I've seen them like stop rants and be like, but I'm not gay, but they'll use like another word, obviously.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like why were you even thinking that? You know what I mean?
David Goggins on Joe Rogan, he's like, I want to get a room full of hard men together.
Yeah,
I want to make them fight.
Yeah,
it's like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
I think it's hard to hate women and not be a little homoerotic at the same time.
Yeah. Like the funny Sneako advice that I think he actually believes is like, you can't trust any woman. You can only trust your brothers. You should live with your brothers. You should do everything with your brothers.
Kiss your brothers.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, my brothers, once they knew I was doing a Sneako video, that's when they were starting to, first they were like, this is a really dumb idea. Like he's popping off. Like people like him. Then like I kind of knew, I saw the trajectory shit was going, which makes sense because I'm fucking older. And like, I had a similar arc. Like I was alienated, whatever. Peterson was like my guy for that shit. Anyway.
Same.
Yeah. Respect, bro. Fucking whatever. What does he even call his people, bro? Like geniuses?
High IQ lost boys.
Yeah.
High IQ lost boys.
Yeah. Young men. No, but so yeah, that's like I get the allure of Tate though. Like Tate is one where I come back and I'm like, I totally get why people like this guy. And even Sneako on a lower level, I totally get like why people give him attention. But yeah, when you're preparing content for kids, like for young adults, like in my mind, I realized like you really need to put in spectacle.
Sneako was marking all of his videos as 4 kids.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, but like he knew he was attracting that audience, and nowadays he actively tries to attract that audience, and his reason is because
Sneako actively tries to attract kids. Okay.
He does. I literally mean that. I will say that I would say that to his face. Right. Literally, yes, because he quite sincerely, his mission that he still claims to have, again, very incoherent, but like the one thing is like he wants to do content now with these live streamers because they're like in touch with the youth. Right. That's literally his thing.
And that culminates in, that video with him and the kids jumping up and down saying kill gays or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. And like plenty of stuff that who cares really. But like, yeah, he wants fundamentally to touch kids right here. And, that's pretty much it.
This is like the only podcast episode with even a modicum of a chance of getting taken down.
Oh, yeah. People say that I'm not edgy. And I think that's true. I really don't think I actually am that edgy.
I'm just saying what you think.
No, but like the thing is that I just speak in a really bad way for like I was speaking.
He wants to touch kids right here.
Yeah, I speak in a bad way for algorithms, bro. For real, like maybe humans too.
Oh, this is going to be a well-performing video because we're going to put Tate and Sneako in the thumbnail.
Okay.
Discussing H3H3, Sneako and Tate drama.
Oh, and we haven't even touched on Twomad. That's why this is going to be a 3-hour podcast.
Oh boy, holy fuck!
Wait, before we move on to that, I want to subvert a little bit.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so. I think a lot of people believe that this content is popular because they are masters of manipulation.
Yeah.
But it's popular because there is a need in people. Like there is a void that is getting filled. These people it's popular because people are seeking it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? This wasn't as popular. Like the manospheres exist for a while.
Yeah.
But this didn't exist in like 2006. Like this didn't exist when I was 12 years old on YouTube.
Yes.
But it exists now.
Yes.
Why does it like what is lacking in people's lives? What are people seeking out, and how do we fill that void?
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a great question. It's maybe it's too high level for me, but I'll give it a shot. So part of it is like the culture industry, if that makes any sense. So like, I'll explain that a bit. Like, a need is there, yeah, but like people will make content for that need. And then there'll become a industry around making content for that need, right? So like self-help is getting incestuous with the amount of like people making self-help. It's like a joke, like self-help masturbation porn or whatever the fuck. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, well, dude, yeah, like guys, here's the thing. Guys actually love showing off to like kids. Yeah, they really do. Like guys like looking like a fucking role model. You know what I mean? So a big thing with Hamza's a whole, because the thing with Sneako too is like I encountered so many little personalities that it's like, wow, each one's pretty interesting to me. Like in terms of like analyzing, but like, Hamza is like a guy who his thing is like, he wants you to pay $1,000 course so that he can teach you how to be a self-help YouTuber. So it becomes like this weird incestuous thing where it's like, now there's a bunch of kids on this self-help wave. And what's their thing? Okay, I'm going to get a 6-pack. I need to make money. How do I make money? Start a self-help channel because it worked for the guy that's literally telling me how to do self-help. So it's a culture industry thing where it's like, there's demand. The demand starts to attract people who make more of it. And then the people who make more of it attract more demand. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I want to make a meme, which is like, a guy is teaching a course on how to make $1 million, and he's pointing at himself teaching the course about how to make $1 million. He's pointing at it, and it's like the recursive.
It's a literal MLM, bro. Like it's a low level MLM, but like it's fundamentally kind of that. Because every time I see Hamza's fucking like peddling that idea, it's like you're delusional, bro. You're straight up delusional, and you're selling that delusion to kids because it's like.
Hamza's like 25, isn't he? Too.
He's 27, I think now. 26 though, maybe. But like Hamza's. Here's the thing we need to be clear about Hamza. When I talk about him, I might talk like it might sound like he's on par with Sneako. Hamza's like the guy I would go easy on.
Right.
Like he's trying. He cares.
Right.
Sneako doesn't give a fuck. But like I still, I may talk harshly or whatever. But
I feel like Hamza's just misinformative about health shit. Like I feel like I haven't really heard him talk about women that much or
women. He's not great. Not great. You've seen.
I can't imagine he's great.
You were telling me he had a video about like how he was in love with his girlfriend, and then he like the next one was like reject women.
Yes, he literally made a video how to love a woman, talks about being on a shroom trip with his girlfriend, and then the next week or 2 weeks later, you do not need women or something like that. Like you do not need women. You don't. Why women like inhibit your success, whatever the fuck. And it was basically him saying no sex. Do not have sex until marriage. Do not have sex until marriage. I just broke up with my girlfriend because of this. And the implication is he broke up with her because he found out she fucking sucked a cock or something, like, I don't know. Like he's very like, it seems like that must be it. Right. And then a month later he like gets back with her. So it's like just diluted shit because that's the big thing that needs to be understood. Tate, I think that Tate, yes, he came from a genuine like red pill kind of zone. It was like dating pimp fucking like complete will to power.
Like kickboxer.
Yeah, but if we're talking like in terms of content creation, Tate came from the fucking depths of like attracting women. So like there's a big philosophy I have. Fucking Sneako, Hamza are older brother YouTube. Peterson, Jocko, fucking Goggins, old man YouTube. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's like more mass audience. That's more like work. Like just fucking put the work in, you know what I mean? It's like base level, like just a guy to tell you like the obvious kind of thing. Whereas Sneako and Hamza are like, they're still figuring it out. Creepy Uncle YouTube. We're talking like Tate. We're talking Fresh and Fit. These are like guys in their 30s, 40s, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They have advice that's actually useful, technically, on a technical level. They don't really care about morals that much. They just care about ends and means, right? And so they'll give you fucking like sinister advice sometimes, but it's like, well, actually, in this fucking landscape of how we're living, this shit makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, it starts at like a lower level of like, looks maxing, whatever. Then there's like, again, because I've waded through these swamps. So it's interesting to like, I've literally like some of the shit. It's like, I totally get the appeal. Like you have to, if you're really going to try and understand something, you have to like, I think understand the appeal. There's like room set up, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to take a woman back, again, this is like more base level, but then you get into like the pimping. Okay. And the pimping is like a big thing with Tate. He was like the pimp. He wanted to be the king of that landscape, sell the best course, all this shit. And his big competitive advantage was make them fall in love with you. I make my women fall in love with me and then I exploit their fucking literal asses online. That is in that zone, he would brag about that because that's like a big flex. You know what I mean? And so there's like a whole subculture of these guys, and this is where the red pill was really like fucking spawned. And so like if we're talking people like Hamza, like he's like not even near like that low of a level, if that makes sense. Where was the tangent I even got to this from? It was something.
No idea how we got here.
Hamza.
Older
uncle YouTube.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so like creepy uncle YouTube, they have useful advice, but they're suspect and you should not leave them alone with kids. Yeah. What is a smartphone going to do? It's going to leave them alone. It's going to leave kids alone with the creepy uncles. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
that's part of the issue too. I mean, it's if your goal is making money, right? Like you can't deny, like the advice is useful.
Yeah.
Just calling it useful advice is true. And you can't deny that it's useful advice for like, if your ends are power and money.
Well, this is exactly the thing. Like, obviously there is truth to some of the red pill shit. Like, it wouldn't fucking like have hopefully not like as big of a whatever appeal if it didn't. But what you need to understand is like it is a very specific appeal, and it's not that they're actually right about everything. It's not the case at all. Especially when they started getting into religion. Like once the red pill started getting religious and like pretending to care about morals, that's when they lost the plot. They were too like because now it's like we're just under ideology now. Like we're not will to power now. We're like slave morality, which is like basically like fucking like Nietzschean, like in Nietzsche, slave morality is basically just like he would criticize Christians basically for having slave morality because it's like, you know, you're not caring about just your end goal. You're caring about like judging people for how they act and how they, you know what I mean? Like instead of saying like, I want that, I'm going to grab it. It's like, that person has what I want, but it's okay because they're going to hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once the red pill started getting like sanctimonious, as if this shit was like any kind of moral high ground, whatever, that's when Sneako really lost the plot completely because that guy's just amoral as could get, like honestly, in my opinion, pretty badly. You know, maybe some people would disagree, but I don't know. I would cite some examples to counter that opinion. Yeah, sorry, am I losing it again?
You're so deep in the muck. And when you,
I'm sorry, bro.
And you get out of the muck, and like
I'm rubbing it on you.
You're like the muck is in my eyes a little bit. I'm like
shit,
wiping them off.
Just let me know, like, bro, like I can.
I think it's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
I think we're touching like we're going in.
It's very important. It's very important.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's important.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because like, dude, like
what are the lessons that we can learn from the people that we observe?
Yeah.
Their lives are online for the first time in human history. We can watch basically someone for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Grow as a person, shrink as a person, whatever, evolve,
yes.
Yeah. And we can look at that and we can find lessons in there. That's your job.
Yes. So realistically,
we also have to not go insane simultaneously.
That's a big part.
Unfortunately, this podcast is going to be 3 hours long.
That's a big part.
So much to cover.
It's good. I really like talking to you. Clearly, I'm enjoying talking just because like you guys seem interested. You know what I mean? Like most people I fucking talk to, it's like like whatever. So yes, I'm gonna go on tangents. Definitely pull me up. You know, if I'm fucking being too deep into the abyss. It is literally, there's a line in the skit that we recorded for the Sneako video. Again, I try to be like meta aware as much as I can because like losing your mind is a real thing. I've seen that shit happen for real. And that I don't want to happen. But like in the thing before the skit starts, it's like Peterson AI voice ominously saying like, if you gaze into the abyss too long, be weary, the abyss can gaze back into you. It's totally true. Like you consume, like I even though I come at a lot of this content from a critical angle, it's like, yeah, it rubs off for sure. Absolutely. Like even like paranoia too, because these guys are paranoid. That's again, another thing with like why these guys are cowards. Like they're scared of the world in a real way. Like,
yeah.
Why are you smiling so much? Dude, did I just do it again?
You're so all over the place. It's crazy.
Fuck.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point though. I think the framing the red pill as a defense mechanism is a good way to frame it because that's exactly what it is.
Cowardice.
It's like a fear. It speaks to a fear because it's like
you have something in you that could get destroyed.
What do you like? Yeah, what do you see in that? Do you like what are they protecting themselves against?
I think they're protecting. They know their egos are fragile. They know they've seen their shadow.
Yeah,
they know they've been hurt before, and they know there's part of them that they're not stoic. Like they're not invincible. There's something that can get crushed, and they're not gonna let anyone crush that.
And that's masculinity. That is what masculinity is in a Freudian sense. Okay, because the thing with Freud Is this too much?
No, keep going. Yeah.
Okay, fuck it, man. Like, whatever. Who cares?
Get into
Psychoanalysis time.
The thing with Freud is like, look, I'm not a fucking expert, but secondhand info. The big thing about like masculinity, in this case, in a Freudian context, the phallus, right? Like having a fucking dick is like the, the caveman idea is that you can be castrated. Okay.
Right.
You can have your dick cut off, whatever. Your masculinity, in a sense, can be like challenged, right? It can be like fucking, taken from you if somebody violates you or whatever the fuck happens, right? And so it's almost like there's a fucking deep sense of like, I need to protect like my image of like being powerful, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that can lead to some pretty bad paranoia. And it can, again, limit people going and meeting new people, limit fucking finding a community, which you should be doing. And at the very least, finding individual friends. Like, people need friends. Like, it's one thing to have a community, but if you have no close friends, like people that won't cancel you if you do something bad, I don't mean like in the sense of like they'll approve of you doing something bad, but I mean like they won't try to gain something from your fucking downfall, if that makes sense. You are in a nebulous, dangerous state if you do not have that, like any kind of like support system where it's like, oh, this guy actually gives a fuck if I'm like doing badly. You know what I mean? That's way more important in my mind than carrying a gun, moving to Florida and making like sure that you're strapped so that, you know, in case a fucking transgender comes and like knifes you or whatever. This is like the delusions and the fears that like go through the brains of, unironically, go through the brains of Sneako. Tate's super paranoid. He has like full team security guards, all that shit. He might have a reason. I'm not convinced fully that he has a reason. Again, his big thing is like the Matrix is attacking me. Dude, you bragged about how you could get away with fucking criminal acts in Romania. And then the Romanian police were like, all right, let's look into it. All right, yeah, this guy's making us look bad. Yeah, we should probably try him for this. Yeah, makes sense. But like the Matrix attacking Tate's very useful to the Matrix. I think. I think he's super useful. There's certain things he challenges them on, but like
fucking capitalism's so atomized. Like 3 companies owned 89% of the of the S&P 500. Like Tate teaching people how to make fucking money, drop shipping and shit, and how to make money on TikTok. Like that benefits
completely
the top 100%. It doesn't. It's not like you're not. It's not like TikTok's getting fucked when you start clipping Andrew Tate. TikTok gets a cut of that.
You mean you can't escape the Matrix by making Amazon 0.01% more efficient?
Yeah. No. And so this is where we get back to the fundamental
attitude.
The biggest thing to pull from the entire red pill space is that it is basically a massive giant cope, a big myth, which people need myths a lot of the times, especially like because we're so directionless, aimless, whatever the fuck. Like people actually want myths. This is a lot of why like conspiracy is taking off, a lot of shit. Because I don't know, people, I think there is a sense of like everything feels like too systematized. If that makes any sense. Yeah.
Do you think we're lacking myth?
Yeah, I think we're like we're optimized. We're inhuman. We're like, you know, the efficiency machine that eventually eats itself, right? Because it like needs to become more efficient.
Shit is getting worse. It's getting less and less fun to be alive. And how are we coping with that? We're not like really taking too deep of a look. It's more like, well, just like have some porn and like some fucking, and like this is the shit.
Or work more hours.
Yeah, or work more hours. That's like a big thing. Like even, bro, every single one of us, like we're literally slaving ourselves in the sense. This is like, bro, the amount of philosophers we're like touching on, it's like really weird because it's like very schizophrenic. You're right. But like Byung-Chul Han is like a fucking up and coming, I guess, philosopher or whatever. He has the Burnout Society, which One Dime studio fellow has a video on. It's like the Burnout Society. It's like, you basically are the agent of your own success, right? Like the worst thing you can do to someone is say like, you're not successful and it's your fault. You know what I mean? Like your life sucks and it's your fault. You know what I mean? Like there's a fucking hyperfixation on like individualizing all of your problems pretty much. And again, this is like what no community does to a motherfucker, but it's also like what literal like high ass rent does to a motherfucker. You know what I mean? What like rising grocery prices does to a motherfucker. Like, yeah, it's very, very real shit, especially in Canada. I don't know who the fuck watches, but like, yeah, in Canada, like our groceries are shit. Our rent is awful. Like just
Canada specifically is fucked.
And the contradictions, bro. I don't know if I think everybody feels it a little bit, but like, shit is getting scary, like in a real way. I think like and it's scary, especially because there's no real left, I think. and the people really getting attention, like in this like angsty side, like all the people who are like despondent, they're looking at the right. They're not looking at the left, and from what I've seen. Though there's obviously like there's camps, there's people doing whatever, but like in terms of like organized politically, in Canada is mainly what I can speak to, but probably the same in the States. It's like, who the fuck are you gonna vote for? Like, I guess the NDP, okay, but they're like very just like fucking like kind of like what would you say, liberal light in a way.
Yeah.
There's the PPC.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. But like, you know, people bought into that shit because of the trucker stuff. Like that makes complete sense. Why they would buy into it, because it's like, oh, there might be an alternative. Like people want an alternative. But yeah, like in general though, like I think that the reason it's like scary is mainly because like even again abroad, like fucking Ukraine, whatever you want to say, like obviously there's an obvious, you know, event that's occurring right now. Like there's a fucking tension that's like a lot of contradictions are being like pulled up. You know what I mean? Like if we're talking like zits, a lot of fucking like zits are being popped. And yeah, I'm worried that the right is gonna like gain more ground. Not again, guys like Fuentes, like I don't like to say that they're dangerous or scary or anything. I think they're fucking idiots and they're cringe and whatever, completely. Like, I don't think whatever, but like the way that a guy like Fuentes, his role in reality is just to pull people further to the right. You know what I mean? Like he's really not going to hopefully fucking get what he wants, which is a completely militarized population where.
Yeah, that was like the Groyper movement, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unironically. Yeah. And this is where I come back, I pull it back. Whoever the fuck's following this rant, I'm sorry. But like, you know, if you're doing it, congrats. Joe Rogan. We're Joe Rogan, like as if we're like high or something. But like,
I mean, I've listened to 5-hour Joe Rogan episodes.
Respect. Yeah, so, same, bro. Yeah. Same. Like I used to listen to all the Peterson Rogan anyway. But like, yeah, the big thing is like, basically like, there's people who have opinions. And again, I don't really care about people's opinions that much. And then there's people with ideas. And I'm interested in people with ideas because ideas is implied that you've thought it over pretty extensively. And when it comes to influencers with ideas, that's when I'm paying attention. Okay. And so that's why Sneako to me has been like almost the most, I mean this, genuinely almost the most boring part of this video because he doesn't have any ideas. He's literally just borrowing ideas from all the people he's interacting with. So it's like this super weird thing where it's like, fuck, like, do I explain like that Sneako like borrowed this from this guy and like, here's this guy's whole thing, you know what I mean? But like ideas can be dangerous. That's true. And they can also be cowardly. And a guy like Fuentes, yeah, his like, if you go to like the baseline of like what are his opinions, like yeah, like Jews engage in like black magic. Like if we're getting like deep levels, they obviously have control over pretty much everything. We need to send the military into the ghettos to like keep the black people in line. And yeah, whatever other soundbite you could clip and like just cancel me or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like
Gokanaru said what?
Yeah, but like yeah, there's like a like when that's the main thing where it's like the natural like end point of a lot of the assumptions that Sneako just takes like super base level. And again, if we're going to take it on a grand stage, like you talk to a random kid and it's like a meme or it's like funny, but he like low key like kind of believes it. Like, yeah, Jews control the world. Like, fucking, you know, whatever, like gays are groomers, you know what I mean? All this shit. And it's like, he, is a subject. Okay. He's a subject. Like he is not like that opinion didn't come from him really. You know what I mean? And so there's a big fucking like push with everything, all these contradictions that are coming up in fucking society. It's like, there's a big ass push to push it back down. It's not like we're going to cleanse that fucking zit. It's like, get that fucking shit, put that back under the skin. And that's like where that's where like my criticism of like liberals comes in like hard, like heavy, because I think that like liberals, this whole like PMC vibe where it's like just not allowed. Like that's just evil. It's like wrong. It's like completely not allowed. I understand how someone could hear that and they're like, well,
that's dealing with the problem.
Yeah.
The liberal position is dealing with the problem from that perspective as like, you said they are gravitating towards it not because they're master manipulators, but because they lack something.
Yeah.
And the right is trying to fill what they're
myth
lacking
to an extent, but yeah.
And then the left is trying to fill it with a different myth.
Yeah.
Right.
And but the thing is like, if you go again with Zerka, you mentioned Zerka, that guy's very interesting, more interesting than I would like to admit.
He's funny as fuck.
He's hilarious, but yeah, because he's crazy. Like he's actually crazy. But it's funny because Sneako was annoyed with Zerka a lot of the times that they hung out. Like he was actually like very obviously like annoyed. He makes snide comments, like even when Zerka wasn't there, whatever. Not even like in a disrespectful way, but it was just very obvious that Sneako was like out limelighted by Zerka. Like if that makes sense. Like Zerka's he's a very dominating personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's got like that masculinity bullshit on lock. He's like funny. Like he's got like all this like, and Zerka's like self-aware about this. He's like, I'm like Andrew Tate, but I'm like all better or whatever the fuck. Not like better in a real way, but just like entertainment wise. But yeah, like
I think the big picture pearl with that whole situation, if you want to talk about Zerka, is you will get one upped, and there's always someone more extreme than you.
Yeah, yo, that's
as extreme as you can get. Someone will always be able to push it further.
That's how the ladder, like you fall down the ladder. So like in Sneako's case, like Zerka is like this crazy bombastic guy that he's milking, like he is milking him for his stream content. But like a part of it is like Sneako kind of needs to like drop to his level at some points. You know what I mean? To like, you know, just to catch that juice because he started his own wave.
Yeah,
so like, so like a big Zerka meme that he believes. Like to him, it's not a meme, but like it's a meme, is flat Earth. So like unironically flat Earth genuinely. And like Sneako, again, doesn't actually give that much of a fuck, but like he fell into that flat Earth thing. So he's now
Sneako's a flat Earther now?
Fully a flat Earther.
Jeez,
yeah. If you needed any more reason to not give a fuck, and the big like again, like this is natural deviation. Like to me, it wasn't shocking. To a lot of people, it's shocking because they knew Sneako from the women hating, and then they just don't care. And then now they hear it's a flat earther, and it's like, you what? How did that go down? But like the path was pretty obvious to me. But like, bro, flat Earth, that shit is a myth. It's a complete myth. It's a fucking fabrication, dude. The levels of like the ways that they like navigate that, I 1,000,000% see how someone who's like either mentally ill or a kid. Again, these are their target demographics, sincerely. This is who they're trying to sell pills and courses, bro. Mentally ill people and kids.
I think if we gave Gokanaru a nicotine gun, his like head would explode. There's so much dopamine.
Bro, is it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, that goes back, like some of the one-up thing's a good point, because that goes back into the whole red pill fundamental of protecting something, like protecting your masculinity. If someone one-ups you, if someone outdoes you in any facet, then you've lost as a man. You've lost your masculinity. Like you're no longer like you're not top dog. You have to keep being top dog.
Yeah.
I think it's like I thought of like an analogy earlier. All right, because everyone has this gushy in Tibetan Buddhism they call it the raw bleeding heart. Right. Yeah. Everyone has this like human, like genderless, just like empathetic, soft love side to them.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the good in you.
Yeah.
And you have to show that to people, especially with new relationships. You have to show that early on, or else you start playing the character.
Yeah.
And it's like farting around your partner.
Yeah.
Where like if you don't fart around your partner for like 4 years and then you do it once, it's gonna be fucking weird.
Yeah.
But you have to do it. You have to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And then you can like not do it all the time, but they know it's there and it doesn't surprise them. And when you hear people like Justin Waller on fucking Fresh and Fit talking about his friend who cried around his wife once and his wife divorced him. If you spend 10 years
dude.
playing a fucking character, if you spend 10 years like literally acting, and then your wife sees you break that character, that would like off-put somebody.
Yes.
Right? It's not like you can't cry around women. It's that like you have to be a little emotional because you have to know that like you're a real person.
Yeah.
Right? If you're like a stoic fucking brick wall and you break, your wife's gonna feel weird. Your friends are gonna feel weird about that. It's a character break. It's like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, that Justin Waller guy. Again, I have like loose awareness of all these people. He's an interesting guy because again with all these people, I totally understand the appeal like on a certain level. But it's like construction guy, like has this like hardy man like fucking mentality or whatever. Like that's what I grew up around pretty much, like construction household and shit like that. Like I totally get the appeal, but I think that story is a lie. Like I don't think that's like why someone would divorce, but like there's absolutely truth to what you're saying. Like if women are conditioned and they know a guy a certain way, there can be like an ick if he like fucking deviates from it. You know what I mean? So like with that I think that's true. I think that like a lot of this red pill shit, it like basically, it basically almost makes you easier to castrate, if that makes sense. Like if we're talking again, fucking Freudian shit, your masculinity is like, the phallus, right? If you're like working so hard, like a paranoiac to protect your fucking masculinity, like it's a part of your identity that I don't cry. I, do what I think this of women. I think whatever of whatever, you know what I mean? Or like I work hard. I don't take breaks.
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally have a heart attack and die because of that. But like beyond that, it just makes it, almost like more clear. It makes you almost like more, visible of an enemy or like, it makes it easier to chop you down a peg, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, what you're saying, like, if your girlfriend or whatever sees you cry, like, holy fuck, like, a guy that can, like, kill someone theoretically and, like, him crying is, like, the thing that killed the relationship. Like, what the fuck? That's, like, a weak guy then, right? Like, in my mind, that's just, like, maybe you're a strong guy, but, like, you have a weak community. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, you have a weak-ass community if they're not willing to, like, fucking, like, deal with you in, like, I guess, a semi-vulnerable state or whatever the fuck.
It does make you easier to castrate. Imagine you're put in a room, okay?
Yeah.
And there's, like, 20 glory holes, and guys got their cock sticking through the glory hole.
Oh,
and
yum.
they give you an axe, and they go, castrate one of these 20 men. And there's one guy with a glass box around his cock.
Yeah.
You're going to want to break the glass and then castrate him.
Yeah.
Right? That's the red pill.
Yes, I get what you're saying. That's fun. I like that. Oh shit! Yeah, the guy who holds his phallus at the highest regard. Basically.
Yeah, and then like meanwhile, everyone else is like, "Here's my cock. Like, you can take it if you want, but like it's right here. I'm not hiding it."
So like, okay, so if like you're a young guy watching this, hopefully probably a couple of young guys, hopefully watching this at this point. If you're hanging on, you're on the bus, whatever. Like that rigidity, because there's rigidity that's like just fucking shoveled into a lot of like the red pill bullshit. That is like, you got to be wary of that because that can make you weak. Okay. Have a strong core. Yeah. But like in terms of like your fucking like, oh, I can't cry. I can't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, again, it's like one of these things where it's like, okay, don't cry all the fucking time. Don't like always be weak or whatever. But like shit happens. Your mom dies, whatever the fuck happens. Like if somebody is going to leave you because of that, you're an idiot and you should not have been seeing that person to begin with.
Yeah.
I have a feeling my instinct is this person is not the most reliable narrator when it comes to...
Oh, Jay Waller? Dude, that guy, all these guys shovel bullshit. Like in my opinion, again, is when it gets dangerous and when it gets weird, the biggest thing, like, again, if we pull it up for a sec, is like when these guys believe their own myths, like in the sense of like when Tate gets religious. Again, I still think he's semi-cynical, but like he definitely buys into a lot of it a little bit. He's one of the most amoral people I've ever seen. Tate, like proudly is what I should specify. One of the most proudly amoral people I've ever seen. That was his whole rise. His competitive advantage, it wasn't telling people to go to the gym. It wasn't telling people to stop jacking off. His competitive advantage was shitting on women, basically. And like, having like these slight, like fucking scummy tactics to like, get a leg up in the world. And so when they start buying into the whole like morality, I'm a religious person. Yeah. Religion's a powerful ass myth, and it will allow for you to like piece together some really dog shit ideas with ideology. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You get religious and reflect on your own life.
Yeah.
And you're like, not only was what I said beneficial to people who wanted what I wanted, it was also morally correct in my framework. I was actually acting as like a conduit of God.
Yes.
By giving the advice I gave.
Yeah, it's like, and this is the thing. When he starts to believe that, that's when you get into delusional territory. And the worst thing, like historically, but like just on a small scale too, is like when you're following someone who's too delusional. You know what I mean? Like too into their own fucking like what they got going on, if that makes sense. A certain level of it, you kind of need to not get blackpilled, but like, on a mass scale, like having like the blind leading the blind is like the thing. That's what I call Hamza, like the blind leading the blind. Fucking can be bad. Like it just is dangerous in my opinion. But yeah, who cares? I guess what my opinion is, right?
Okay, you guys are gonna wrap up the red pill Sneako stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back in 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
And then when we come back, we're gonna tackle Twomad and the
holy fuck.
And the theme of this one's gonna be what the internet does to your brain. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Sounds good.
Oh, I forgot about Twomad.
Holy fuck, dude, milk me. All right, let's get it. Whew. All right.
That guy was like, has Twomad made a video in his style? Like, when's the last time he made a video that was like a Twomad video?
On his second channel, Twomad 360. Do you have anything to add on the red pill shit, or do you want to start this?
I think we got it all. I think. Trying to think of anything we like didn't cover. I think covering the other side's important because I think it's like you said, the liberal issue is just like this is there's no point to think about this. It's like there's something to think about because it's popular.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's like it's a real sentiment. Just because I don't want to exclude him from the fucking Twomad shit because I know that's his like meat and potatoes right now, kind of.
Yeah.
But like there's something to the fucking the thing where it's like this sanitization, right? Like why is Kick popping off? Because it's got like the most controversial idiots. And it's like the most controversial platform, you know, where you can like pretty much almost get away with anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so like Kick's completely uncensored.
It's completely uncensored. However, people have been banned for fucking with other creators. So like when FuzzyTube was at the peak of a manic episode, like obviously, he had like over 50,000 active like live Kick people viewing him. Jeez. But Kick didn't do anything about that. They didn't give a fuck. But they banned a guy who was trying to like calling FuzzyTube and telling him like, I'm gonna like, you know, attack your parents or whatever the fuck. Like a guy who's like trying to feed into his delusions and shit. Yeah. So yeah, they like protect their own, if that makes sense. But their competitive advantage is kind of being lawless. So if they really like ban people for like shit that isn't crazy, then yeah, they lose a lot of their competitive advantage. Yeah. It's again, oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, it might be the case. I don't know exactly. But like, you know how YouTube, you are literally like disincentivized. It's not just like you're not promoted. It's like you're actively disincentivized to swear, to do edgy shit, to show guns, to show blood, whatever. Yeah. Those are things that I do a lot and I get punished for it. Like even on my live streams, like shit will get, you know, age restricted. That has made it so that the YouTube landscape is sanitized to an extent. Like drama content, that shit, a big part of why it proliferates is because it's so standardized. You know what I mean? Like here's person, here are the things they did that are bad. Bye. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you don't see a lot of people doing drama content, commentary, whatever the fuck, and like adding skits, you know, like there's not like that same kind of like childish like glee really. There's people who do it, of course. There always will be, hopefully. But like what's really popular is like these kind of almost standardized like person's face, loser, degenerate, whatever the fuck. Yeah. And I think that kids and people who like edgy humor understand that lack, right? Like not on a conscious level, but like subtly they understand like everything on YouTube's boring right now. And so when they see on their TikTok, they get a glimpse of like Zerka saying like the most insane shit you can imagine or whatever. Yeah. It's like edgy humor now. It's almost like all or nothing for most people because it's like either the monetary incentive is like I'm on another fucking platform and I'm just getting clipped on TikTok, or I'm on YouTube and like I'm just gonna be safe. I'm just gonna like, you know, be basically like fucking like conform, right? So like now instead, like when I was fucking growing up, like there's a ton of edgy people like Filthy Frank, even iDubbbz, like South Park too. But like if we're talking YouTubers, Max Mofo, there's these guys that were like, they were edgy, like they were funny, they were doing dumb shit, but like they had kind of like a wholesome nature to them, if that makes sense. Like the messages, what you were pulling from it wasn't hateful, if that makes sense. Yeah. Whereas now the edgy guys who are willing to like actually, you know, just not give a fuck because they don't have a platform, they mean it. Like they actually, to an extent, mean it. And if they don't mean it, they don't care enough to pretend like they don't, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good point. Yeah. That is a good distinction. Because, yeah, even like iDubbbz's Rice Gum video. Yeah. Which is like pretty, I feel like that's the most mean-spirited.
Okay.
Like,
interesting.
Of the,
interesting.
Not mean-spirited. The most like inflammatory of the content cops. Yeah. Just like the race jokes and stuff, like very, very edgy.
Oh, true. Okay, yeah, I don't even remember. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, he has like this whole rap at the end with Boy in a Band.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, even still, like the message is like like these types of people are bad. Avoid these types of people. Yeah. Clout chasing is bad. flexing is bad. Here's why it's bad, right?
Yeah.
It's not like this person's a fucking moron and they should die. It's like this person represents a concept that is you should avoid.
Yeah.
So I definitely see that distinction.
Yeah. And you get what I'm saying, where it's like kids want to see like edgy humor, and the people who are providing it right now are like, they mean it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there's no differentiation between play and belief, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yes, if you want better, funnier, edgier, whatever content, go to your local YouTube. Nope, I actually shouldn't say this. Sorry. Yeah. So you should be pressuring YouTube to, no, that doesn't even make sense. I'm sorry. You're fucked. I was going to say like pressure YouTube to care less about maximum monetization, but that just doesn't make sense. Like that's their whole thing. They have shareholders. Like it's over. Yeah. Vote as far left as you can, I guess. I don't fucking know. This is what I'm talking about, where it's like, what alternative? Like,
I think the NDP and the PPC should team up and make the NDPPC.
Yeah, and the PPC, yeah.
The PPC. I think
NDPPC.
BlackRock will just stop doing ESG, and then YouTube will like take away all the rules, or suddenly.
Is this this is like a big thing, right? Where like people are saying like BlackRock is trying to impose like liberal like SJW shit just so that shit's brand friendly, or what is it?
Yeah, like I don't think it's really clear why they do the ESG stuff.
Yeah,
I forget what ESG stands for. Something social, something. But yeah, they get like more shareholders, more likely investors if they get a good ESG score. But companies are turning against it now. Like it makes sense. I think BlackRock saw a trend in politics. BlackRock said like, okay, we're going to impose this onto the companies we have shares of, because it's already a thing in politics and in the social. Social scene. Yeah. And then it's now failing, like wokeism's kind of dying a little bit, like popular appeal for it's dying. Yep. So now they're taking it away. I don't think it was ever insidious. I think it's just BlackRock chasing what university students care about.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Completely. Like I couldn't agree more with you. Yeah. It's like, even I remember when people were saying this shit and I was like, yeah, they're just like carving out demographics. Like this is just demographic adjustment.
There's no conspiracy. We're just fucking reacting to each other. And
so it's like, This is a long like potential to tangent, but I'll like keep it short. Like, yeah, I know. But like basically like fucking like it is one of these things where you could like it is a market is emerging for this content and the right is filling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like anti-woke.
So this is like my fucking mission or whatever is to have this like, and not because it's like that much of like, oh, I just really want to like pretend this is like what I want to do. It's like, no, I actually just like being kind of edgy, but like fundamentally I want to like counter these like insane right wingers who like are corrupting like edgy people, whatever, people with edgy humor, whatever. They're like fucking brains. Yeah. Being edgy is great.
You worked on the Sneako video for a year. You were working on it for a year. Yeah. And then at the tail end of it, you were sidetracked by Twomad.
I'm going to go to the bathroom now. You guys start the
you're good,
okay, so tell us how you this became one of your fixations as well, Twomad.
Bro, this was an accident, okay? Like completely. Oh my god. Boy. Yeah. So Twomad.
And hold on. Before you begin,
let me
this is the frame we're going into this with. This is sludge. This is muck. It's a swamp. Okay?
Yeah.
And your goal, your job, is to find pearls in that slop.
Yeah.
And efficiently bring them up and communicate that to the audience.
Yeah.
So we're looking at this as a learning experience where we have someone's life basically represented on the internet, and we're sort of reading the cards here and trying to figure out what's going on, what the message is.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, talk about Twomad.
Okay, this is where like I think you can immediately tell. Like I could talk about Sneako literally too long. It's not even again about Sneako. Like we went pretty all over the place. But
yes, it's connected to all these other things.
Yeah. But Twomad's just like something that happened basically. Like long story short, I was streaming with Turkey Tom, and it was literally titled the most chill Gokanaru stream of all time. I've never titled a stream like that. I just consciously decided like I don't feel well tonight. I'm just gonna like kind of chill, not try to like attract too many people, whatever. Usually I'll try harder to like get an audience. Anyway, I joined Tom's Discord call because he was streaming. He had like a stream going that was like I have a feeling about tonight. It was the title, and so I was like, oh fuck it, like Tom might have something going on, so I joined the shit. and they were just watching a guy eat crayons. And that somehow evolved into Tom asking what the fuck's going on in drama. I've been tuned in to the drama, the sludge, like it is sludge, because I've been trying to learn how to, but also literally trying to grow my clips channel. It's been basically the case. Like it's pretty much facts. When you're making standardized sludge, you just need to be talking about what's relevant. Like that's my takeaway. But Tom asks me, what's up with drama? Twomad released a video responding to allegations, basically, from a woman who was claiming that he treated her like shit. He basically, would lock her outside, threatened her with a gun, something like that, threatened to kill her, all this stuff, and basically as well said that, accused him of sexually assaulting her. And so I mentioned that to Tom that like Twomad uploaded this video about it, which was surprising a little bit because he had a court date that was on September 26th. And in this video that Twomad uploaded to his own channel, Twomad360, he basically said like, I did some of that shit. I didn't do all of it. Okay. I was basically, he summed it down to like, I was a bad boyfriend, but like, I'm not a rapist. Okay. Sorry. And so
you gotta use algo speak.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I don't want to create work for you guys.
You actually don't have to on YouTube. They're pretty soft on that.
But we want people to clip this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Anyway, so yes.
That's a joke.
Okay. Sorry. I would believe it. Like it makes sense. Yeah. But anyway, long story short, like our boy Twomad, he made this video and it was like a very, I don't know how to put it better, but like, schizophrenic type video. Like it was funny. Yeah. On a surface level. Cause it's like, he's responding to these serious allegations, like in a very meme-esque way, if that makes sense. And, long story short, I made a video on my clips channel summarizing it because it was like 40 minutes of a lot of like very just waste of time, hard to follow garbage. And I was like, I'm trying to grow the clips channel. Let me just summarize this to like 8 minutes, save some people some time. And so I got that. We're talking about like things like bleeding into your brain, gazing into the abyss. The Twomad stuff has been worse, I think, for that. Like that is like bad for my brain. Like everything I touch where he's like involved, like just recently I'm saying, it's like, damn, like I'm not pulling much from this, but there are takeaways, so we might as well talk about it. But yes, to complete the thought, on this stream with Turkey Tom, I mentioned this Twomad video and Twomad joined the call. And basically, over the course of 4 hours, I asked him a fuck ton of questions with Tom. We both did. And it led to a better understanding of the situation, but also a lot of confusion. And he basically revealed some stuff that was just never seen before that painted a slightly more clear picture of the fact that this motherfucker doesn't have any community whatsoever. So yeah, you want to take it away?
Well,
you're looking at me like I'm mentally like insane, bro. Like let's hear it.
Well, I mean, that's the takeaway from that story, would you say?
Right.
And that's how you end your video.
Yes.
Is with
correct.
Is with talking about community.
Yes. And so like I premiered it here. Sorry, you weren't here, but I premiered it here. And yeah, the basic like, takeaway you had, I remember, was like that really sucked to listen to. But that ending kind of was good. Like that ending like made it worthwhile, if that makes sense. And so yeah, I don't know. Do you have I don't know how much you're aware.
Okay. Here's actually what I'm asking.
Okay, sorry.
So there's a person behind there who knows vaguely about what Twomad is.
Right.
And they're trying to figure out
why
you would spend. How many hours did you spend learning and thinking about this?
Oh, well, no. This was like two or 3 weeks.
Oh, with 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
Which to a normal person
is too much.
Is a lot of time.
It's a lot of time.
Now let's not talk about a year, but
yeah. To me, this was like the reason that I did this, like I started working on this video, was because I had this desire to. And I knew these desires are fleeting for me, especially. Right. And so I need to fucking...
Okay. So there's a person behind the screen.
Yeah, sorry.
And they're like, why should I care about Twomad?
Right.
Answer that question in a minute.
Okay. So you should care about Twomad because he's, I guess, semi-relevant to the whatever you could say, like the YouTube culture, pop culture. He was very popular for a while, like especially during COVID. He had his Zoom prank calls, but like that's the shit that he's like, you know, widely known for. Good Night Girl, that's like a big meme. He was never really regarded that much as a thought leader. He had like, I think, some debate with Hassan or something like that. Some, you know, drama, I think. But the main reason I think you should care about Twomad is, because he has like, you know, millions of subscribers and like he might influence his audience. But also just like he is almost a perfect embodiment of what like being isolated and focusing entirely on like technical rationality, like utility, like focusing entirely basically on views and money. Okay. Like his brain has been completely fucking warped by the thought of like, how can I get what I want? Right. Like his whole, again, he was a YouTuber when he was like fucking young as hell, like maybe 15. I mean, I was technically a YouTuber when I was 12, but like I didn't make any money or get views. You know what I mean? So it's very different. I might be the opposite manifestation where it's like I'd take a year to make videos because I have like this complex because I didn't get views for so long, you know? Mm-hmm. But with Twomad, it's almost the opposite where it's like he got views and got relevance so fast. He got money very fast. By the time he was 18, he was on fucking Cold Ones, getting 4 million views on a podcast. It's wild. Like he's
crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's like impressive. Like the guy's talented as fuck. But he literally aged with this like being his like king, like top ideology of like whatever the fuck, like it'll get views. You know what I mean? And so basically, I keep saying that. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if this is basic or not, but yeah, I just I feel like the reason I felt so motivated to like make this interview that occurred into like a cinematic fucking experience was, number one, it felt cinematic to me in the moment, because to me it felt like a micro event. Like there's events in my mind, there's events like political movements. But in like, you know, for people's lives, there's like events, right? Like whatever you want to say. Just like something that breaks almost like your reality a little bit. And this was it to me, because it's like, yeah, you spend so much time talking about people, and then I literally just casually mentioned his name, and it's like, oh, I'm talking to Turkey Tom, who can just bring him onto the stream. You know what I mean? So for me, it was like a moment where I was like, oh shit, so now I'm talking to him. And it was fascinating to me because I assumed he would be more rational than he was. And I think there's reasons you'll hopefully go into as to why, like, he might not have whatever, like, seemed rational, whatever you want to say. But a big part of the divide that I initially felt was like Tom and Twomad both got very popular and like, you know, made money young. Like Tom's young, Twomad's young. They're one's 22 now, Twomad's 22. I think Tom's 21. And so they had like a conversation initially where it was like, it wasn't necessarily about the allegations that much. It certainly was, but it wasn't that much. It was more so about like the perception and like the why the fuck did you upload that video? That video like didn't get views type of thing. You know what I mean? Twomad was more fixated on that. Like Tom was like, you know, obviously like interested in that shit. I was too, to an extent, because I was like, what the fuck's your psychology?
Okay.
Is this bad? I don't even know. I'm sorry.
Let's try this a different way.
Okay, bro. All right. Let's hear it.
I will
Are you realizing like I'm autistic or something? Like, is this the thing?
I will try to, from what I saw from your video.
Sorry, bro. Yeah.
Pull some pearls.
You got to keep doing this. Yes.
And then I'm going to pull some pearls. You are going to back it up with evidence. Like a specific thing that happened.
Feel free to chime in, bro. I need help. I need
a specific thing that happened.
I'm engaged.
Oh,
I'm engaged sitting here.
Fuck yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do.
You.
All right. So I'm gonna talk about what is the story of Twomad. I'm gonna try to summarize it very quickly.
Okay.
The story of Twomad, based off of what I saw from your video,
right,
is, and like you said, this is a guy, 15, started making money on the internet.
Yeah.
His brain was warped around the idea of being a sort of online post-ironic character.
Yeah, yeah.
And as that continued, you know, he grew up, and that's the only thing he knew.
Yeah.
he grew up on online communities, online spaces, never really had a real world community, obviously. Yeah. Seems very desocialized in some ways.
He's living in LA. He's chosen to live in LA, of all places, for nebulous reasons, although he claims it's because of the drugs. It's just stupid reason.
Tweeting multiple times, like how many times? Like 100 times a day. Totally zero-brained, totally addicted to the internet, looking at screens all the time, no community. Yeah. Really like a perfect example of atomization. Yeah. And people like him. He's very good. But then he's starting to get annoying on Twitter. He's posting so much on Twitter. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And then these allegations come out, and he seems to, I don't know, like turn. What happens then?
So the allegations were spawned by effectively a girl.
But the girl responded to him because he was tweeting too much. Basically.
Correct. Not just that, though. He was getting canceled because he was tweeting so much. And then he, I guess offhandedly maybe, tweeted a picture of a now deceased trans girl who was 16.
Lesson 1, don't have Twitter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Twitter's brain
Twitter,
rot.
Don't tweet more than 5 times a day.
Twitter is bad for your brain.
Okay. Those are the 2 pearls that we've dug up so far. Okay.
Yes. There's gonna be a lot. Actually, there is a lot to pull from him.
I'm de-autismifying this information.
Thank you, bro. Yes. Okay. Yes. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Like the rant you were going on was good. Like basically tweeting too much accidentally or maybe purposely, but claims accidentally, posted dead trans girl and claimed it was his girlfriend. Okay, who was 16. Gets a ton of shit. People are like, what the fuck? Finally they have a reason to be like, bro, stop tweeting, you're a fucking weirdo, whatever. It starts to mount a little bit. Twomad is initially like, bro, I'm sorry, I didn't know, basically. And then when he keeps getting shit, he's like, you know what? Fuck you. And then he just started like leaning into it. He started like saying he's a pedophile. He started, I think, posting other girls. I don't know if they're trans, whatever. Basically like just stoking the fire. It was giving him attention as well. This is a big part of, it's so evident, it's a big part of Twomad's psyche.
And while this is happening, he's not making videos, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so...
The dopamine was hijacked by Twitter instead of the thing that makes him money.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. That's a good ass point. But like, I think it's more one of these things where has come to a point where he is so needing the instant gratification that like Twitter gives him that. Live streaming gives him that. I don't know if you've seen, I think I sent you a screenshot where he's like live streaming. It's like prison bars. It's genuinely like, there should be documentaries on this shit. Like,
You're making a documentary.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. But anyway, and so after basically enough people were like, yeah, fuck off, Twomad, like stop being a cringe edgelord or whatever. A girl emerged. Goldilocks is her username. And she basically, made these allegations toward Twomad. And he fucking lost it, is the perception I have. He just, for the last 3 or 4 months, has been just saying she's like, she wants clout. She's broke. She's trying to get money. Her parents are rich also. This is the only relevance she'll ever get. She like wants to basically she's an art student, so like this is her touch of fame or whatever the fuck.
So the inciting incident here, though, which is why Gokanaru was making a video about this, is because Twomad was so desperate, I suppose, to tell somebody about this, to explain his side of the story, that he went onto a stream, like live. Yeah, the only people he could talk to, basically.
I don't think that's true, but yeah.
But I mean, like, why is he telling and yes, essentially perjured himself? Yeah, by providing evidence that was not in a court case.
Yeah, I correct. Yeah,
so that's an interesting footnote in your story. Tell us about that.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be a little bit careful just because I don't want to like say anything that like could be used like to discredit that shit, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know what at all the legality of like if what he showed us can be dismissed, like is dismissible in court, whatever. But like, yeah, I mean, long story short, we found out after interviewing him for like 4 hours that during that time, which was I believe 2021 roughly, yeah, late 2021, so like December-ish zone of 2021. He was basically apparently buying like $30K worth in ketamine and abusing the fuck out of ketamine. And I already suspect that he was probably abusing potentially Adderall. It's like jokingly referenced in some of his videos that he, would you take Adderall and edit?
You think Twomad has ADHD?
How familiar are you with Twomad?
I've seen I followed him for probably like 2 months.
Yeah.
When he started making the just like hyper zoomer like meme master videos, I thought those were really funny.
Yeah.
As he's at Walmart, there's a fucking edit every millisecond.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny because Twomad, I've always thought like he was talented as fuck, like undeniably in my opinion. But like to like a normie, like they don't get it or care, and they just think he's like a schizo. But like he, even his humor for me, it was like that was definitely to me. I was like, this is like too fast paced for me. Like this is almost too zoomer, if that makes sense. And so yes, the ADHD elements bleed into his fucking content totally. And it is one of these things where, you know how it's like the separation I was talking about, kind of, where it's like believing your own myths. This is less high scale because it's not like religion with Twomad, but like Twomad is like totally buying into his own myths, right? Because he has no community, no like grand narrative or anything. And so throughout the interview, you'll notice, again, this is up on my clips channel right now, so you can watch the Gokanaru clips.
And you're also making a shorter version of it?
Yeah, it'll be uploaded to the main channel.
How short of a version?
Ideally not over an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, the main thing, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. It was something along the lines of like, Twomad is...
So I heard train. I'm going to just segue this. Would you rather have a train... 3 hours in.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Would you rather a train ran on your girl or a tooth pulled out of your mouth?
Okay. Jesus.
We got there.
Wow. So
you don't actually have to answer that question.
Yeah. So like just theoretically, like if I'm gay, like is this like a train ran on my like a guy?
Your partner. Okay.
Huh.
Theoretically.
Well, no, I just, you want to keep shit nebulous. Okay. So, but we're like picturing like wife.
I think it's always your girl, actually.
It's like I'm married.
We asked Nuria her girl, so.
Yeah, okay, I like that. Your girl, yeah, okay. We'll keep it to girl. We'll keep
train right on you. Yeah. Or like, how's the tooth getting pulled?
Yeah.
Like string around it, slam the door, or like man with pliers holding your head down.
Right.
I think the tooth either way, but.
Yeah. Yeah, the tooth. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just there's certain I battle a lot of psychological. I have a lot of psychological wars going on. I just don't need that one.
Right. Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like I could probably cope and like be cool with it or whatever the fuck. Like maybe somehow if I think myself through it, but like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, the tooth hurts for like a couple days.
Yeah, but then you don't have a tooth in your mouth for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
oh, really? Cares? Oh, we can't like.
Why are you missing a tooth? It's like, it was either that or my girl got like fucked by 8 guys.
Well, it's almost like it's one of these things where it's like almost as if like you're confronted on the street by like a group of guys, and it's like you either try to fight and you lose your tooth, or you just like abandon your woman and they just have their way with it, right? It's like appealing to like these paranoid like fucking thoughts. I would probably, lose a tooth. That would be actually kind of like low bar. The real question would be, would she enjoy it?
I would do a lot. Like you could go stricter punishments than tooth. I'd probably still do them.
Yeah.
Tooth's pretty low. Yeah. I'd be like, tooth. Like I wouldn't think about it.
How many teeth?
I wouldn't lose 6. 5, I would get 5 teeth ripped out.
You'd be like what is it, fucking Chris Neal or some shit?
6, you're look like you have no teeth.
Yeah.
5, there's enough gaps to like something happened.
It's a hockey player, bro. You look like a hockey player.
What if your girl's like, I liked you more when you had more teeth. Bye.
Oh.
I'm gonna get a train run on me.
You know. I think in the end we win either way because I mean, like, as a masochist, you know, it's just like whatever. Like, you know, I'll get some fucking sick pleasure from like
masochist and a cuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's probably overlap. Yeah, no, but yeah, I would not like that.
Okay. Back to Twomad.
He bought $30,000 worth of ketamine.
$30,000 worth of ketamine. Also on lots of drugs, Adderall, ketamine.
Yeah.
How do you think that played a role?
Yeah, I remember the train I got off. So basically, the level of I don't know how to put it exactly. I would probably say narcissism, but like I don't mean that in a typical like offensive way. I mean in a literal way. But like let's just say like self delusion or whatever. It's like he believes his own myths a lot, you know, where it's like he's completely confident like everything's fine, everything's all cool. Like even him being on that podcast saying what he's saying, he's like, it's not a big deal. Constantly Tom was kind of like asking him like, you shouldn't be, basically like, you shouldn't be showing us this. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. And so, sorry, what was the thing that you segued with there? Just to bring it back.
The drugs, but I mean,
yeah. So like, this is part of it, right? Is like my mind, is that, again, I didn't know this while I was doing the interview. This is all like shit that I kind of thought about while I was editing because I had to think about it. Tom basically was like, that was like a mental grenade that went off. I don't even want to touch that right now. And me, I was like, fuck. I want to touch it. I want to play with the grenade. And so, yes, it blew up my brain. But the drugs and the combination of an upper like Adderall and, you know, a fucking nebulous kind of unknown-ish drug like fucking ketamine, yeah. Which, you know, I'm vaguely aware of. I know people who fucking use ketamine, again. It's not like a crazy drug to use, but like 30K of it is pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So like, for ketamine, is crazy.
So like what no community will do to a motherfucker is like let him get to a point where he's like taking Adderall in the morning, jacking off to porn probably a lot, constantly like instant like gratification out the ass, and then like to chill or if you're too stressed or whatever the fuck, taking ketamine alone, snorting it, 30K worth, right? So that's what no community does to a motherfucker. What ketamine and Adderall abuse will do to a motherfucker is destroy your fucking memory, destroy your probably ability to like function without like dopamine fucking, you know, again, this is combined with like the fact that his career requires him to like basically be super, you know, seeking, fucking like, like almost immediate, rewards more or less. Yeah, it's like a dangerous duo. And it becomes semi-obvious.
So one of the interesting points in the story that you've learned through as your journalistic endeavors, is he had no memory of any of the allegations.
That's
except for the stuff that he recorded.
Yeah, you're perfectly on track with me. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yes.
So he literally he doesn't even know what happened. The only stuff he knows is stuff he has video evidence of because he was recording at the time.
Yeah. The thing is though, he claims to know what happened when it comes to very specific events. So like there's one claim basically where she was leaving and after, according to her, some kind of coerced sexual activity occurred. According to him, like she just sucked my balls. After that happened, apparently she was leaving and Twomad, like her claim is like she was running out of the house. She was trying to leave as fast as possible. And Twomad like tackled her and like groped her breasts, right? And so Twomad, he doesn't have video of this, but he has like video like hours allegedly before it happened. The thing that was confusing during the interview was like, none of this was public. Like people just knew this. He was acting like a schizo, but they didn't really understand what went down. And he didn't understand the timeline either. So we're like, is this the last time you saw her? Like, is this the time she mentioned this? And he's like, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Like,
was he confused? He didn't know if it was like his second date or not.
Yeah.
Like how do you not know if it's your second date?
Right. So another big thing is like
$30,000 worth of ketamine is the answer.
Yeah, he answered the door. So after he kicked her out one night and left her in the cold, according to him, just to be mean to her, she came back the next day, which obviously she should not have fucking done. You know, definitely you should have self-preservation. But like she came back the next day, and he answered the door with a BB gun that on video looks real. And so he uploaded that to Twitter almost the same day that he did that. but like as a meme. So like it's like a girl answers his door. So it's like, I think in his brain it's probably like a way for him to, it looks like he's getting pussy or whatever, you know, it's like kind of a flex-ish.
Yeah.
But also it's like funny, but also it's like, holy fuck, it's a gun. You know what I mean? It's like all this attention potential. So it's probably for content is maybe why he answered the door. However,
specifically content on Twitter, which will make him no money.
Right. But like attention.
That's where his dopamine was hijacked.
Yeah. This is where, again, buying your own myths, shit like that, like just being too lost in the sauce, you lose track of like what you actually want. It's just the attention. But yes, so he answers the fucking door with the BB gun. And so that's public. But it's only shown, like all that's shown is like girl knocks on door or whatever, gun in frame, and then cut. That's the meme. And this is now being cited in a court filing. She like basically is going to court over this shit because even though he claimed her parents are rich, whatever, she claimed she was broke, which he also claims she, anyway, it's confusing, but like she claims she was broke, can't like legally prosecute or do anything. And then a fucking old accomplice of Twomad, not accomplice, but like old friend, I guess, of Twomad. Rival, sure. They were like friends or friendly, and then they kind of had a drama or something. Named Jameski, who's a VR YouTuber. He fucking came in and was like, I will fund this girl's lawsuit, basically. Effectively to spite Twomad. Obviously, he's...
Wait, sorry, who was the other guy?
His name's Jameski. So he's a VR YouTuber. When Twomad was coming up, he was making gaming content, so he's like heavy in that like realm. Nowadays, he's more known for like his, you know, pranks and shit.
All that matters is it's an old enemy of Twomad that's come out of the woodwork trying to basically ruin him by supporting the person accusing him.
Twomad made a video about this guy, basically calling him a Russian. That was the fucking meme. It doesn't matter, but like, long story short, Twomad made a video clowning on him publicly, and like the thing Twomad's claiming is like he has resentment from that. He's now using this opportunity to destroy Twomad's life or whatever.
Okay, I'm pulling you up here.
Yeah.
What's the lesson? What are we supposed to take from this? So far.
Oh, dude, yes, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, you know, everything we've been talking about so far. Where's the lessons here?
Right. So like,
what are the pearls?
Yeah, you should not fuck with people for content. You should be very careful and cautious and aware of when you're differentiating, I'm doing this for content versus when I'm doing this like just as a human being. You know what I mean? Twomad didn't have that separation. Mm-hmm. It's pretty fucking obvious if you see even like the leaked audio recording that he fucking sent to us.
Yeah, and then this gets at a larger point, which is the hyperreal self of Twomad's persona sort of devouring and becoming his actual self.
Correct.
And you can see this in the clips that he sends you. He's like referencing Call of Duty Black Ops in real life with this chick.
Yes.
And like all the Zoomer brain stuff, kind of like completely ironically, even in like an intimate setting.
Okay, so this is when it gets kind of bad, because it's like Twomad started showing us clips, stuff like that, in the hopes of basically just like showing us like, oh, no, look, like I had normal conversations with her or whatever the fuck. Like basically his whole thing, he was showing us this clip of him talking to her that apparently happened like before the essay occurred. And so he was showing that to us to show like, she's my girlfriend. Like she was my girlfriend at that time. Like this is a girlfriend relationship conversation. Right. And he was trying to show like, you know, she's like semi-receptive, you know, she's like interested or whatever, because to the public, it does come off as if like he was just completely obsessed, because he was, but like as if it was like completely one-sided relationship. From what I can tell, it was very one-sided, but she did keep coming back, right? So I think she was interested to an extent. Anyway, the problem with that is that Twomad shows us this video to prove that, but he's like very lost in his own sauce, so he doesn't think about the angle where it's like, dude, in this video, you are like touching her and she's saying, stop touching me. And you are then literally like saying like, then I keep touching her. You know what I mean? And then like, it's not even a matter of like, he forgets the video. He doesn't know what's on it. It's like, no, he knows what's on the video. Like that's his only memory of the event. Like he's recalling most of his recall from this time is through the videos. So he knows very well what's in the videos. He just doesn't have like the social awareness to realize like, oh yeah, when you have a girl alone in your house and you are touching her thigh, and she says, stop touching me. Like, no, you should like stop fucking touching her. And so his thing is like, I touched her thigh 3 or 4 times. And then she told me to stop, and then I stopped. And then I worked on to feet. So I started touching her feet. And then he starts recording the video because I think that this is a big part that I missed during the interview. I was trying to understand why he recorded this conversation privately. And I do think a big part of why he recorded it privately. In the interview, he just says touching. Okay. And Tom interpreted that as like, oh, like you recorded this for like, it's like a touching moment. You know what I mean? Like it's like an intimate moment. It's like you kind of are, you wanted it because it's like for posterity's sake or whatever the fuck. But in hindsight, while I was editing, I realized like, oh no, he started recording it probably because he was touching her. You know what I mean? And he was like worried she would like cancel him over it or something weird like that. And so with that knowledge, it's like, all right, okay, I actually should be careful. But like, whatever. Like, basically like, the logic, like the whole time I was trying to understand his logic. And at a certain point in the interview, I give up because I'm like, I can't make sense of this. Like, I don't understand what's going on exactly. And that's what you've kind of helped me with a little bit. Yeah, feel free to jump in at any point, bro, because, you know, I don't know. But like, basically, the big thing is like, I stopped caring about his intent or whatever during the interview pretty early on because I realized like, fuck, like he doesn't realize like what he's saying really. Like he doesn't understand the gravity of what he's saying. I think he understood what he was saying, you know? And so I basically was just like, let's let him talk. And then that led to, he confidently wants to show us video. And that's when I think people in the call were realizing like, oh, this shit's getting like real. I already fucking understood it was getting real, but like that, at that point I was like, no, we need to watch this. Like we need to see what the fuck this is. Cause a guy who thinks that he's not like, you know, saying what he's saying right now. Like a guy who doesn't understand that what he's saying is not good for him or whatever. God knows what's on that video. Now, to be clear, the video is nothing like crazy, but it does paint a fucking bit of a weird picture of the situation where it's like, she is literally telling him, stop touching me. And he is making those advances. And then he in the call is telling us like, basically like, you know, this is like, I'm just trying to placate her so I can fuck her. Like it's like a relationship thing. She's like confronting him about this, like trying to touch him too much and whatever. Like basically, she's trying to confront him about how he's been behaving toward her, right? Like demeaning her, being mean, whatever.
Okay. So big picture, he is showing you.
Sorry, bro, we need to get less specific. Like
he's showing you, you're deep in the muck. I'm
well,
like
this is what I need you for.
Yeah, I've got a rope. I'm like,
please, and bro, like, feel free to chime in, like, please, like.
Okay, so big picture. Okay, he is showing you evidence that makes him look very bad.
Yes,
but he's showing it to you, thinking it makes him look very good and exonerates him.
Yes, completely. Yeah.
Where does that disconnect come from?
The fact that he, I think, is just very, yes, this is a perfect tangent. Yeah, desocialization, basically. Like he is not socialized into the norms that most women would think are acceptable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like he is socialized, but only in online Zoomer, memer spaces. Does that make sense? Like that's his socialization.
Yeah.
He doesn't have IRL friends. This is something he says in the fucking interview. He is away from his family. They live in fucking Canada. He has younger brothers and he has an older sister who called the cops on him when he was like 16. And that's like a video. He made a YouTube video kind of memeing on that. And so this is a guy who has very nebulous relationships with women and even just people in general, right? Like Jameski was his friend. But how did that fucking devolve? Chad, anything for views? Again, they're cool with Twomad, but like even on the Twomad podcast, on the cold ones, whatever, like it was mentioned that Twomad and Chad were always fighting. You know what I mean? So like this, it seems like is a guy who like, even his stories, he would say like he was a kind of an autistic, whatever he would say, like dumb kid who would like the teachers would pick on and shit like that. Like he basically, it seems like was just a bit of a social pariah. And when you combine being a social pariah with, fame, wealth, so like material or like conceptual, relevance and like power with substance abuse, like Adderall, fucking, ketamine, and then you isolate him, COVID, right? Like that was real. Like that was a real thing that happened. Like it was kind of out of his control to an extent. It's not so like, it's pretty clear to me how this can like happen to somebody, right? like somebody will watch that interview and think like this guy's fucked in the head, like just write off whatever. But like, again, you got to try and have radical empathy if you're going to try and understand. Like, it's like, I totally get the picture. Like, he basically has been rewarded throughout his life for like seeking immediate gratification, you know, like he thinks of a meme, he fucking uploads it or like he edits it, whatever. And then a girl comes into his life. And this is like a big thing that was kind of surprising to me in the interview because
this is his first relationship.
It's his first relationship with a woman. And that's why I think he's very attached to calling her his girlfriend, is because to him, like that's the first time like, you know, a girl was like reciprocatively.
And to her, they've hung out twice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. From her perspective, this is what she claims is that, like, they hung out a few times, basically, and yeah, he was just like treated her like shit the whole time, which he doesn't deny. Like, this is the thing that needs to be clear. Like, even the stuff he admits to is like, I don't want to be around you. You know what I mean? Like, that's like you just. Kind of are making yourself sound like...
Okay, so to bring this back to the main point...
Sorry.
He shows you something terrible, thinking it looks good.
Yeah.
Because he acts in a very desocialized way.
Yeah.
Because he has no friends, no community, because when he was 15, he had a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And also was probably, you know, as a kid, had some mental illness, autistic, ADHD, whatever you want to call it. But
it's better that you explain this.
Okay, so because that's one of... And I keep trying to bring this back to the pearl. I would say one of the big pearls with the Twomad story, at least from what I can tell, is that it's a case. It's like a example. And this isn't an excuse or like a, you know, this is get you off scot free or anything.
No,
but it is pretty clear to see how no community played a role.
Yes.
With the situation.
Yeah,
and
totally.
That is an example that like him going on your stream. Feeling like, you know. Clearly, he wants someone to talk to about this.
Yeah.
And he's talking to it live because that's the only way he knows how.
Yeah.
And he's showing you bad stuff, which is he's thinking it's good stuff because he's desocialized because he has no community. So like now we've brought these data points back to the big picture.
Right.
And the big picture is no community.
Yes, correct. Okay. Yes, and this is the thesis of what I'm trying to demonstrate. Like I'm not interested in lolcow content. That shit's boring to me. It's really boring. Like, and this is probably the closest foray that I guess I could have to that, just because he was. Like, it wasn't me, like, trying to fucking, like, make him look horrendous or whatever. It was like he did that literally to himself. It was, like, very weird to me. Because I had never talked to Twomad before, and I thought that there was a separation. I thought there was at least some separation between the online personality and the person. Mm-hmm. But it was clear that those shits were fucking totally tied completely. Mm-hmm. So...
capitalism come? What do you think? Does he need it?
Yeah, get in there.
Wait, how long... Oh, okay, yeah, let's do it.
It's pretty quick.
All right.
Do it show full one? How often have you had nicotine?
No, just buzz me off. Just
Have you had nicotine before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I take a full one.
I'll be fine.
For the chewing noises, take like 8, get it soft, and then park it in your gum.
Okay. It's like a dip now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's like this guy needs more dopamine.
Am I dying? Yeah, I'm dying a bit.
No, I mean you've got enough dopamine.
Okay.
We're just gonna give you more for fun.
Yeah, that's fun. It tastes good. Anyway, so yeah, with the Twomad stuff, it is fundamentally like not something I'm like that excited to talk about.
Right. It's dark subject matter.
Dude, like I had dreams about this shit.
It's very dark and mucky and gross.
It's like the last thing that I needed on the tail end of finishing Sneako is like, here's like a horrendous rabbit hole to go into where it's like, anyway, it's, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you now, do comparative analysis between Sneako and Twomad. What do they have in common and what do they have?
There's a lot, actually.
Right in my mouth.
What's that?
That's what exactly I was going to
say. Oh, yeah.
Same way.
Yeah, so, right. Okay. Great idea. So Twomad actually looks up to Sneako as an older brother for real. Oh. Like, not in the literal, like...
Have they communicated? Do you know of? Okay.
Yeah, so, like...
But that's surprising to me because I always figured, as insane as Twomad was, he was always pretty like, you know, he never really got like right wing.
Yeah.
He never really got like anti-red pill. Sorry, he never got really like anti SJW. Like he never really. He was.
Thank you.
He was on his own myths, but yeah.
This is perfect because you're bringing me right back to one of my tangents. Fuck. But basically, Twomad, up until roughly the pandemic, was socialized. Like he was getting socialized, you know what I mean? Like he was interacting with a lot of people. He did that shit with Belle Delphine where I assume he wasn't a total creep or whatever. he, you know, was interacting with people. He had like a lot of videos. I believe that like he had socialization to an extent, not a massive extent, but like to an extent. Pandemic comes, stripped away hard, like hard. He didn't have a girlfriend. He didn't have his parents. He didn't have fucking anybody during the pandemic. You spend too much time online watching fucking porn, eating junk food, abusing Adderall and fucking ketamine. What the fuck's that going to do to a motherfucker's brain over the course of 2 years? Nothing good, probably. And so it really is I think a situation where like he might have had some of that and he lost it due to negligence, sure, but like, yes, some external variables. So like you got to be careful. You're not on your fucking villain arc. You're just becoming mentally ill and like need to be careful. But to compare it to Sneako, Sneako also like had a thing going on with the pandemic, but like he was socialized. Sneako's extremely well socialized, like very. He's always kind of been. It seems like he's like a socialite, if anything. The closest, I guess you could say, to what that would be. So that's why I don't view it as like, oh, Sneako didn't have community. He had a fuck ton of people telling him that the red pill wave was stupid. Ton of people. He just wrote them off because he wanted the bag, basically. Right. That was the initial motivation. Started believing his own myths, I think, too. But with Twomad and fucking Sneako, it's like nowadays, Twomad, after pretty much seemingly like kind of frying his brain with too much oscillation, you know, all this shit, he now looks at Sneako and he's like, damn, Sneako's like a canceled motherfucker. Like he's crossed every bridge you can. And seems like he's still living a good life. You know what I mean? He's got girls around him, whatever. He's like, honestly, kind of a target demo for Sneako in a way, right? Because of how, like, even some of like the most insane shit that Sneako says, like to Twomad, that would just be kind of like a funny meme, you know?
Okay, so one of the main differences is that Twomad had no community, while Sneako did have community. Yeah. He had like a group of friends around him.
Yeah, the similarities are, they're both heavily shaped by like the need to like have relevance, have wealth or whatever, and to have approval from their audience.
Directive of any influencer, by the way.
Yeah, no, but like you need to be weary of that, you know. Yes, beyond that, there's like some loose shit, like whatever, who cares? But like Twomad was kind of like tipping his toes into like, you know, he wasn't all right, but like he was just trying to like learn about politics a little bit. He had his foray with Hassan. He was basically like, you know, fuck the left or whatever. Like, but he was Destiny pilled.
He was pretty liberal.
Yeah, he was Destiny pilled, which is interesting.
I pegged him as like a sort of technocratic.
Yeah,
like Elon Musk.
Your interview with him was interesting to me because he seemed totally there in that. Like, I don't know, he seemed like a normal guy. It's fine, whatever. Time fucks people up sometimes, but like,
well, no, I mean, I would say like there was, he
symptoms or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like he was normal. Like me, I liked him. Actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When I met him, I mean, I thought he was a cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. But anyway,
But also, it was hard to get him out. You know, he was like, I was in LA for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And I was trying to talk to him. I think he just spent like a couple of days just too busy playing video games or something.
Okay.
To hang out.
I believe that.
And then when we did hang out, it was for like a couple hours. Then he had to go back playing video games.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. But so a big part of his like current geist or whatever is like, he doesn't give a fuck about Emily BLM. You know Emily BLM?
Emily BLM.
Yeah.
No.
It's the it's like the Wojak with like the Arizona.
This isn't a real thing. This is just a Twomadism. So like he kept saying that during the interview, and I thought it was funny just because it's such a fucking interesting way to put it. But like he's like basically saying like, I don't care about alienating Emily BLM, which
is a white liberal woman.
Yeah, just like a white liberal woman, like someone. He basically is like painting all those people who like care about this shit. You know, like the surface level shit. Like that was his justification with the trans posting the dead trans girl, and then like continuing to like lean into that was he was just like, these people are just getting mad at nothing. Her family doesn't care. It's like his mentality, right? To a certain extent, maybe he's right. I don't think he cares if he's right, though. I think it's just like a cope so that he can just justify to himself to not care. You know what I mean? But it is, again, one of these things where, like, in my mind, I was talking about the abyss, like with the Sneako video. Yeah, Twomad is like a guy that like got lost in the abyss to an extent, and like trying to like understand that, like it was like one of these things where it really did feel like I was flying too close to the sun, where it's like, no, there's probably some actual mental illness at play here or whatever. Like, I don't really know. I don't know what you would think. But I don't think that Sneako is mentally ill. Like, this was like a common trope.
Yeah. I was
this was a big
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a big thing that people were saying. I think it was Noah Samson or someone.
Bipolar episode, manic episode.
Yes, bipolar episode. That's a big one. You could say mania, maybe, but I don't think he's mentally ill, like in a real way. I think that he was just part of a movement or like a geist, and he was just like all aboard. You know what I mean? Like all on board. He didn't give a fuck.
I think the internet just makes you mentally ill.
That's true too. I think that's true as well. Yeah. And what's the anecdote to that?
You mean the like
to
lesson?
reel you in? Yeah. How can you get reeled in from the mental illness that is the internet?
Solution.
What's the solution to that?
Yeah, act on the internet. Have a career on the internet. Get your money on the internet, but don't lose yourself in the internet.
Yeah, hang out in real life, dude. I've never done a fucking podcast in real life. Like, let's fucking go, dude. This is sick. Like, look at how happy I am. You can even see it. I got dopamine out the ass right now. I've never fucking talked to people about this shit in real life.
I'm gonna give a nihilistic answer. You can give a hopeful answer. Okay?
All right.
I don't think you can do it. I do not believe that you can engage with the internet and not become mentally ill.
I think that's possible.
I think everything needs to be seen as a tool. I think being the YouTuber who's like the end goal is to be a YouTuber is a bad idea. I think engaging with people on Discord and saying that they're your Discord online friends is a bad idea.
Horrendous.
They're all tools.
Dude.
YouTube is a platform that you can launch off of. You can do whatever you want once you get that audience. Same with Instagram. You can open businesses. You can meet people. You can find relationships. You can start a family. You can do your whole life can bounce off of the internet. But you have to see it as a stepping stone and not the end. That's facts. That's really well put. Yeah.
Just clip that. If you're watching, clip that.
That was good. That was great.
Our Chad makes a great point about community, which is that a Discord server is not a community.
No.
But it can be
a substitute.
A jumping off point to make real world community.
Yeah.
Like I met you online.
Yeah.
I met you through the online.
I met you all online.
Yeah.
For one way or another.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep chewing. Yes. That's facts. Like, use it as a tool. Don't use it as an end. I agree with that completely. Like, the internet's dangerous, like actually dangerous, like in ways people don't suspect. Like, you can be thinking it's totally innocuous and you're just getting pulled down into the fucking gutter, dude. Like, you see it in extreme cases with people like Twomad, because like Twomad mentally, bro, like total, like almost every thing that he was saying about women and all that, it's like, yeah, he's an incel. Like, that is like if we're gonna call anyone that, like, yeah, that's what it is, you know. Like, I do not use that term loosely, and it's like, dude, yeah, if you're just isolated and the people that you interact with online who have a veil, there's no like accountability because there's still a veil, right? You fucking can become that veil, right? It's like fucking Zizek, dude. Like, big thing of Zizek is like, when you're online, it's almost like a more true version of yourself, right? Whereas when you're in person, it's like almost like you're maintaining a mask. Well, that mask can be fucking important, bro. And it's not even that it's just like totally phony in my mind. I don't know if this is what Zizek thinks, but like, I think that, like, you know, being able to differentiate between when you're like, you know, how you have a mask and when you're fucking like online being, you know, whatever you're being. I think that's super important. Like, even with me, big part of like, dude, it'd be easy to get lost in the sauce for me, bro. It'd be very easy. Drama YouTube, trust me, a lot of people are lost, bro. Like, lost in the sauce. Like, where your whole life is kind of interpreted through drama, like, in a way. It's still, that is the case for me. I'm not above this, but it's important, again, when we go back to, like, your audience can shape you in that way. You know, you can, like, morph to what is expected of you online.
Who's influencing who?
Yeah. Anyway. Fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, thesis. Okay. So, Twomad, incel.
Yeah.
Sneako, obviously fucked.
Yeah.
That's another difference.
Yeah.
what they had in common, you were saying, was that they were both shaped by the internet.
Well, they allowed their presence on the internet to bleed heavily into their like personal lives. Thing is, I think that Sneako started to separate. Like, this is why I think he's a grifter, because he started to separate his personal and his public life, because he was like dating an dating like an ex OnlyFans girl, like while he was fully like saying like Muslim values, all this shit. Like he was totally contradicting his online presence, and to him that makes sense, but like functionally, like that's just, he's still spreading garbage. But like with Twomad, like I don't think there's any separation at all. So yes, be wary.
So what I am getting out of this,
yeah,
drama content as a whole, there's low drama. That's like Gossip Magazine. That's like getting lost in the sauce and kind of pouring over every detail and not making any larger conclusion based.
Yeah. It's like if you want a comparison, like your grandma if your grandma gets like too into either like Queen Elizabeth drama, that bullshit, like celebrity drama. Like your mom might get into celebrity drama, your grandma might like the fucking royal family drama. That's it's just like it's just consuming. Like you're just enjoying that shit. But
and then so there's that lurid fascination on the low level.
Yeah,
and then there's a high level of like, these are the stories of our generation. What lessons should we take from them?
Yeah, it's like archetypes.
Yeah. What forces are these people embodying? What forces are these people controlled by?
Yeah.
Capital most of the time.
Yes. Heavily.
And
especially on YouTube, by the way.
And when you're making this kind of stuff, you have to have that kind of battle within yourself of the lurid fascination versus I am trying to make this into like high art, basically, and try to find like actual meaning in the muck.
Yes.
And that's what you're wrestling with. That's why you get mucky.
Yeah. Yes. This is why my brain's fucked, I guess, or whatever. I still think I'm high functioning, but like there's total potential to like fall and get lost.
Many drama YouTubers do, right?
Yeah, totally, bro. I'm telling you.
In fact, probably the vast majority, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Because this is the thing that you need to understand. And this is something that people didn't understand for a long time, I think, just because there's such a separation between like the people on TV and the people watching, right? Because it obviously used to be very insulated, like Hollywood. You did have like checks and balances. You had a community because you're fucking, you know what I mean? But now it's more obvious than ever that like the people making content are fucking lost. Like I genuinely, sometimes I see it and I'm like, holy fucking shit. This guy has 10 million subscribers. And he is totally lost.
10 million subs and 0 homies.
Yes. It's like you get rewarded for being lost as long as it's like desirable. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking outrageous. It's not a meritocracy, that's for sure, whatever. But like, again, there's people still with like legitimacy, whatever. But like, there's a lot that it's just like, wow, like, dude, if they can do it, I can do it, you know? That's kind of what I come back to. I try to not be blackpilled, right? Because I think you guys have... I don't know what the fuck this conversation did to your guys' brains, but like to me, it's like, there's a lot to be fucking like disastrously depressed about or whatever. But like where I pull my like motivation is like, I need to be a little bit delusional in like the sense of like, I need to just think like, yeah, all this fucked up shit, but like, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't give a fuck. So yeah. What do you guys think? How do you guys like toe that line? Especially you. This is like because like this is applicable to me, absolutely. But like for you, very much so as well. And you do have a separation. And I think it's, I don't know how much you want to talk about whatever, but like.
I'm an open book.
But yeah, I don't know. How the fuck do you guys like separate or like keep this shit a little bit like, detached from like your literal being,
I'll go first.
Yeah, you go. I got to think about that.
I don't.
Okay.
In fact, if there's any way for me to just become my hyperreal self now, snap my fingers, I do it.
And this is why we practice what we preach here, which is why we're forming a fucking community.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, for real though. Unironically, yeah, it's like for real. But go on. Sorry, you were gonna say?
No, that's it. That's the end of my statement.
Fuck.
I think I just realized that I got really. I'm trying to think like. My content is less. I don't dive in the muck as much.
Yeah.
In a literal sense, like drama.
Yeah.
But I do like. I've always walked on the edge of nihilism. I've always walked. I know I could, like, if I let myself fall, like, I could see myself, like, becoming deeply depressed just by thinking.
Yes.
I can totally see myself doing that. Just thinking about life, thinking about, like, meaninglessness of everything.
Yeah.
And I think I got out. I was there for so long, and I think I got out of it just by trying to lift others up. Yeah. Like being happy for others. And taking care of myself so I can take care of others, so I can be happy for others. And then through that, I've found, like, I feel like day to day, I feel pretty good. It's been a long time since I've been super depressed.
Hype.
Yeah.
I think Sneako's similar, actually. If I'm going to give him anything, I think it's that he does, like, a part of his motivation is because he wants to, like, raise up, like, his boys or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he gets, like, he has that, like, feeling where it's like, these guys that are, like, all right or whatever, I can literally say or do anything and these guys will have my back potentially. You know what I mean? There's like that camaraderie.
Yeah. So as a leftist, maybe you could like try to create a myth, a sort of generational narrative on the left where it's like, okay, I'm with my, my comrades through thick and thin. I'm not going to eat them.
Correct.
As soon as stuff goes south for them.
Yeah. I'm not a leftist. But like, yeah, in terms of like that kind of like pulling them away from
so
that.
Wait, hold on. You're anti right winger and you're anti liberal, but you're not a leftist.
I'm just too stupid, I think, to really categorize myself too specifically. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I think that if time has told me anything, it's that I'm a lot dumber than I would like to think.
It's usually a good sign you're doing the right thing. If you feel like you get stupider as you get older, it's usually it's a good sign.
I'm hoping it is a Dunning-Kruger where like maybe one day I'll actually get it or something, But like I'm just very like this is the one big fucking bonus that I have. Actually, I have two massive bonuses. I'm curious. It's pretty obvious. It probably feels like that I'm pretty curious. I'm too curious maybe, but I'll try to not let it kill me. But like, I'm very curious and, I am like very good at like, socializing with people, not in like a formal way, in like a not formal way, if that makes sense. Cause I like grew up with brothers and shit like that. Like we fucked around a lot, and, yeah, my brothers are my boys, so it's like, I'm able to basically like see the bad parts of someone and just kind of like, not like accept them or whatever the fuck, but just like understand it's a reality. People are just fucking, everyone's confused to an extent. Whereas like with the shit you see like that makes me nervous, right? Is like you see a lot of like, again, bread tube adjacent. I don't know these categories. I don't want to be socialized in this kind of way fully.
It's an anti-wisdom. It's just negative information.
Well,
it's bad to know. It's bad to be part of it.
No. It's not that it's bad to be part of it. It's just like I'm scared of it because I wasn't socialized in like an environment where it's like, oh, if you say this thing, like you're gone, you're dead. Yeah, you know what I mean. And so. Yeah, that like the canceling thing, like where it's like this person's a total write-off. Again, it makes sense. I totally get why it's a thing. And in some cases, it makes total sense why individuals would be like ousted. But like, to me, it's like, you're just like, this is not the way for me. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Yeah. So like, I wanted to ask you, what's like your fucking experience with like, feeling like specifically, was there a job that like, you were depressed doing? Because that was for me, I think the worst state I was at. It was like alienation from my job, basically.
I don't think. Maybe when I lived in I'm pretty well socialized. A huge extended family I spent a lot of time with.
Yeah.
When I lived in Ottawa for a year, and there was like a 4-month period where I just worked and didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Like I just worked at a fucking burger place.
Ottawa moment.
Were you in school at the same time?
No, I dropped out.
Holy
so
fuck.
I had nothing. And then I was friends with Greg, and then Greg moved to BC.
Yeah.
And I had nobody.
Yeah.
Except for like I think I hung out with Max once or twice. But besides that, like I had like literally nothing.
Yes.
And
so you were in Ottawa, and then I was like, get out of school, and then
then you left me.
I left you.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I watched myself lose it. Yeah. I watched myself lose it. Like it's just not having anyone around to bounce your ideas off of.
Yes.
Like when you say like you see something and then you say shit to people and they're like, that's fucking stupid. And you're like, oh, that is fucking stupid. Then you stop saying it.
Yeah.
You have no one to say shit to, and your thoughts just fucking spiral
fester,
down a rabbit hole.
It festers.
It does fester.
And this is you're right. Go on.
No, it's super like, oh man, I was really into fucking like black pill shit. I was watching like facial analysis
Yeah,
stuff. Like I got like that far down to it.
I've had that arc. Like this is the thing. Like I'm able to like look at this maybe on a little bit of a meta level because like I was a fucking like dude who was going like there was a way less popular, but like there was a red pill shit going on like when I was fucking 16. My big thing was like nofap communities. Like it was very autistic, very like weird communities. But like and I wasn't deep into them, but like I watched nofap like YouTubers or whatever the fuck. It's like yeah, like there's lost people and it's like a lot of the times the people who are trying to lead the lost people are also lost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's like the best way to sum up the wisdom crisis going on right now.
Yeah.
I mean that's like the classic, like the best leaders don't want to lead.
Yeah.
If someone has it in, if someone has a thing in them where they want to lead people, and they keep chasing that desire to lead people.
Yeah.
Not a good leader.
The way I see that manifest is like Discord mods, dude.
or Reddit mods, or anybody.
Dude, those people like Discord's a breeding ground. It's like I literally view Discord on a lot of like people's Discords, whatever. It's like a breeding ground for fungus, and it just becomes like a whole like fucking ecosystem of fungus. It's like very dangerous potential, but it can also be good. I mean, it's just again you have to be fucking cautious.
Yeah, he's gonna open a like meet in IRL channel.
Yeah. Is there any more like just fun topics to like not Blackpilled as fuck?
We're at 3 hours.
We're at 3 hours.
Yeah. Go on.
We've kept pretty consistently on the topic of drama YouTube and what the internet does to a MAFC.
Dude, we did it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, summarize. Okay, we've been talking for 3 hours. Summarize the value and meaning of what we've talked about to our viewers here.
Okay. I mean,
why would you devote your life to drama YouTube? Like, what's going on here?
Okay, so here's one thing that needs to be, kept in mind. Like, I again, this can be cope. I don't know how you interpret this, but like, I don't want my entire life to be drama YouTube. So my goal really is to evolve beyond it, right? But like,
that's why I like you.
Okay,
because you're not really a drama YouTuber.
This is why I like you, because every time we meet new people, you introduce me as a drama YouTuber, and I like that. I think that's good because it bothers me and it reminds me like, oh yes, okay, I don't want that. Like, you know what I mean?
Your external world has not matched your internal world quite yet, but
yeah. No,
I mean, like, I respect what you aspire to do in the drama YouTube community, which is not make drama content. Like you're like not making drama content, but you're packaging it like drama content.
Yeah.
Well, you're actually doing an ethnography of the internet.
Yeah. The thing is that there's bleed in. There's total bleed in. Like I'm not a drama YouTuber. Like let's be clear. Yeah, I don't want to.
You could get to the point where you are just like
ethnography. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like having a goal that isn't just money. It isn't just like a number on a screen. It's like my own personal development goal. You know what I mean? Like I want to fucking make better videos. I want to meet more fucking cool ass motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Build a bigger community. Yeah, just see what the fuck happens too. Like the biggest thing that motivates me is like, holy shit, there's so much chaos potential, dude. Like, I just feel it. Like, with my content, like, most people in the, I guess, drama sphere, whatever, they'll upload a video and it's like, that was just my video this week. You know what I mean? I think a big part of why I fucking, like, put so much into some videos, not all videos, but some, is like, what the fuck's gonna happen, dude? Like, I'm like, if it makes me feel like a fucking alchemist, like I'm smashing shit together and I want to see what happens. But yeah. Whatever. You've literally just looked very like plainly into my brain. So what are your what are you thinking now?
I think it's like I said, there's the desire or the pull to make some sort of like low level slop gossip news, tabloid magazine content. Yeah. And then there's the high level desire to find, like, be able to deposit some actual meaning into a very confusing time for a lot of people. And I think some people, like, we have lurid fascinations with these kind of stuff for a reason, and you like part of your job, part of your aspirational goal might be to add some meaning to that. Like why, like to figure out why we have that fascination and to explain it to people and to bring people back to some pretty basic, obvious facts like community. Yeah. Oh, hey, do you have a mentor? No, maybe that's why you got sucked into this rabbit hole, because you wanted a mentor and you actually don't have a real world mentor. Correct. Stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. And money too. I need to get better at making money. Yeah. Capital accumulation, bro.
Oh yeah. Do you want to show off your merch?
Oh, Yes, that's why I brought. Yes, that's why I forgot.
I didn't realize you were wearing merch.
No. I knew when I put it on, but I forgot I was wearing it. Yeah. Yeah, I have merch. Gokamerch.com, bro. Yeah, plug. GOKA merch.com. Am I the first one to plug something here?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm sorry I took it, but like,
no, plug it.
Yeah, fuck. I've never made merch, but like I'm trying to like evolve and like do new weird shit. So yeah, most people do merch though. So like, yeah, I like it. I like this shirt. It's cool. It has my face on it though, so I can't really wear it like unironically. But yeah.
Merch is good because people choose to buy it.
Yeah. It's like a total sign of like I fuck with this guy. You know, It's cool.
To close off. Yeah. So Saturday. What day of October is that? Next Saturday.
Yeah.
Get that calendar out.
Let's see. Friday is the 13th. Saturday is the 14th. The 21st of October.
Saturday, October 21st.
Saturday, October
2023.
2023.
Give it time.
That is slightly nebulous just because like if you really want to be there, like join my Discord. Like that'll just be blasted there.
By the end of the day.
Yeah, it'll be
Gokanaru's
6 p.m.
Gokanaru's pipes have been clogged by this video.
8 p.m.
Yeah. Sure, 8 p.m. There's a reason that I'm not sure about the time, and I'll explain it off camera. But yeah.
Okay.
Yes, this is hopefully I'm gonna actually make this thing because like again like I don't know how coherent whatever the fuck I come off on this podcast, but like I'm aware like I got some weird psychology going on with like procrastination, like death drive, all this shit. Yeah, I could keep fucking going probably for 3 hours because this is not work to me. This is like, sublimation. But hey, whatever the fuck,
Okay. Saturday, October 21st. Hard release coming out on the Horseshoe Theory podcast. It's being said here.
Yeah.
The Sneako video to end all Sneako videos.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
The cultural retrospect of the 2020s, of the early 2020s, is coming out hard.
Yeah.
Hard. And if I can, I'll close this off. If I can give you any advice at all.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It would literally just be to not get lost in the slop.
Yeah.
And to remember the core things that you are trying to communicate. Mm-hmm. The ideas that you feel this person is indicative of, rather than getting lost in sort of the lurid details.
Yes,
then that's going to make it more interesting when you explain it to people.
Yeah, that's a very difficult line to draw. Yeah, because there's a lot of slop, and I've consumed a lot of slop. Like I like slop to an extent. Yeah, but it poisons your brain for sure.
Yeah, there's always the battle between doing what's easy and doing what's good.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. The Sneako video comes out, and I'm just like, oh yeah, these guys are right. Actually, these guys get it.
That'd be a twist.
That would be a twist. Yeah, I've duped you. No, but you're right. Community, go to the gym. Don't watch too much porn. Don't watch porn at all, ideally, and fucking make some friends. Have some fun.
Cool. Now we kill you.
Yeah, just execute me. I was disappointed. You guys didn't ask me. You didn't ask me the fucking whatever the question was.
We can't ask you're dead already.
Yeah, exactly.